I think I performed a little bit worse, a
Hmm.
good amount worse. So I want to look at this one. Yeah, you can skip the first part on Widow. I was on it for like one shot, and then I swapped.
Okay. That's how it goes sometimes.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, I stayed for a second life. Oh no, yeah, I did. I stayed for first point. I
He
guess we can look
he
at it maybe.
just like me for real. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to. It's
Yeah.
not a terribly long code, so.
Hmm.
Okay. Here's probably your first action of the match, right? Because I like
Yeah.
to break things down into actions. Obviously, this is multiple, like, grapple placement, grapple timing,
Hmm.
target acquisition, crosshair placement, all of that, right? But you can kind of just bundle all of those little things into one action, right? And then
Hmm.
this is the action that you're studying.
Right.
So let's play it through. Didn't quite happen.
Hmm.
So first of all, I guess, did the action get the result you wanted?
No.
No. Uh, if it did, would it be good value to your team?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree, right? And it's a probably relatively close little value to yourself, right? Or sorry,
Yeah.
relatively little risk to yourself, right?
Hmm.
Which is what I kind of just lumped that in with, talking about the value for your team, right? The more value, an action is a lot more valuable when there's less risk associated,
Yeah.
unless it's like really, really high value.
Right.
Um, okay, so let's see. Why did we fail to achieve the result we wanted on it? And by the way, not everything I say is going to be like, actionable necessarily, because I mean, this is a grapple shot, right? Like how much
Yeah.
a
Right.
lot
Right.
of it is like super fast. So how could we have maybe why didn't we get the result we wanted?
I think if I originally prioritized the Echo because she
Hmm.
was the most out in the open, the Ana instantly went into cover and the Tracer instantly went into cover. So I think potentially looking to prioritize the person that is most out in the open
Hmm.
is best here.
So just look for like just maybe just at like the crosswalk there, right? And then if there's a person in
Yeah.
that zone, because that's kind of the most open zone, you would have
Yeah.
stumbled upon the Echo, would have stumbled on the Ana, right? Because we might not have the precision with a jump of this height to pinpoint targets like close to cover, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, sorry, I gotta checking a text real quick.
You're good.
Uh, bu- 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 okay, sorry about
Good.
that. So what other options were available here instead of grapple shotting or ways you could have done it? You already kind of touched on it, right? A little bit with one of the options of just kind of keeping crosshair locked to looking at a specific spot on this map that you would probably be more likely to be able to hit shots rather than like
Yeah.
because here you didn't have a spot in mind, so you kind of
No,
just
I
are like
didn't.
moving between them and scanning, and obviously that's like getting a little greedy, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I
Uh,
mean,
were
I
there
could
other
have not
options?
grappled at all.
Uh-huh. What's the benefits and costs of that?
One benefit is if I'm like being dove really early on, which is what is about to happen, then I'll have grapple. Um,
Hmm.
I think the disadvantage is that I think I like to say the advantage of this grapple shot is that they
Hmm.
don't necessarily know that I'm on Widow,
Yeah.
so it's a very very surprising thing, and this doesn't get a kills every time, but it does. I'd say like somewhere between
There's
like
a
35
decent
40%. Yeah,
decent chance, right? It's
yeah, right.
considerable. So that option of waiting is you're thinking is probably less effective than the one you chose of going for the grapple shot?
Yeah, I think so. Because I
Okay.
also think that there aren't very many other great grapple spots
Yeah.
on the rest of this first point. So yeah,
The one proposition I'll kind of poke out there is another downside of this grapple shot is they do know that you're on Widow very early now
that's true.
because
That's
it
true.
hasn't been, it's 15 seconds until unlock, right?
Yeah.
So within that time, let's watch. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, so instead of all this, you probably could have, gone for a shot here instead or
Mm-hmm.
something, or scout or like waited to scout their comp a little bit and then went for the grapple shot because you probably
Right.
could have seen some Ana poke from main, right? So I'm
Yeah.
not saying that's necessarily better, but once again, it's one of those other options, regardless of if stupid or not.
Mm-hmm.
Um, where maybe you could have had a better grapple shot if you had a little more information first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially because you're staying on Widow, right? Because if you're not staying on Widow, just,
Do
jump
it.
up and ball, right? Because you're trying to
Yeah.
you're
Right.
not
Right.
trying
Right.
to spend extra time there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but
Okay.
one action fight.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
mm, Probably unnecessary.
Yeah. I think I should have known that my team had the space.
Yeah. And so like there's plenty of actions like that one, for example. I'm sure we could be like, oh my gosh, let's look at all the like go through the whole process. But like I think both of us, like some of them at a glance, you're like, this didn't do
Yeah.
much. Oh, that was probably good. I actually I care less about the stuff where I'm like, this is obviously bad because everybody
Right.
knows it's bad. I care about what went well because then we should trace how it went well, right? So we can
Mm-hmm.
reproduce it. And when were our inefficient actions like, more costly to the fight, you can always, if they weren't costly to the fight, you can always just dig down on pretty much anything for like
Yeah.
better efficiency. But
Yeah. Hmm.
kind of a potato venom mine.
Really?
Yeah, because
I feel like I know the tracers there, but I guess.
well, the problem is this
Yeah.
is marking here, but you're not playing over there anymore. So she could have just come from here. She could have come
Right.
from blink here and here. Like you should place it closer to where you actually want to be. So like
Yeah.
this probably would have been better. Like just
Yeah.
placing it on the
Yeah.
corner here or literally on top of you even to like,
Yeah.
make her shoot it for a second. Like I don't think the intentionality is bad, but as you can see, it's not doing you much good in
No.
this
Yeah. It
fight.
didn't do anything. Yeah. Yeah.
Good attention, good focus.
Hmm.
Probably no better alternatives.
Yeah.
Hey, we have another action.
So yeah, I think generally I like this grapple
Hmm.
because it's kind of similar to the last one in just the fact that like people generally at this stage are focused on getting their positioning and they're usually going to be walking in a
Hmm.
pretty um
You can imagine they'd be somewhere around like underneath the arch potentially.
either underneath the arch or they're already on high ground if they like died
Hmm.
early and they're probably not paying attention to this or they're just walking into like a straight line to get to their position or whatever. So
Hmm.
I think it's good, but I would like to see the other options. Yeah.
You're relying a little bit on sloppiness there, but I don't think that's bad necessarily, because obviously if there is sloppiness, you should punish it. Just
Mm-hmm.
have to be careful, of course, because there are downsides. Here, they
Yeah.
probably don't have people who can really realistically punish you with a mid-air grapple.
Yeah.
But if they have, an Ash, a Soj, anyone who's like
Definitely.
Hanzo, even
Yeah.
beyond that, we talked about some of the other downsides. So you used grapple, right? So you're pretty much assuming that you're not going to need grapple in the next, what's the cooldown?
12
13
seconds.
seconds? 12?
12. Yeah.
Yeah, which that's probably a reasonable assumption, right?
Yeah.
Um, you're showing the enemy team where you are, which means they know where you aren't,
Mm-hmm.
which
That's
is
true.
probably more costly here potentially,
That's true.
because I would say a widow with an unknown location is a lot scarier than a widow with a known
True.
location in some
True.
ways. Um, that's probably most of the downsides, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And so this is probably, I think we can assume even before watching the action, I don't think it'll get the result you want, but I think it probably is another one that's a reasonable result to aim for.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this is kind of just like meaningless fishing. Like this isn't like a meaningful fight thing. It's just like a low
Right.
cost, moderate reward thing that you can do.
Yeah.
So, but like this is like one of those things where it's like, I hope that you're not doing this instead of actually thinking about how you want to handle this next point.
Right. 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 Right.
Yeah, so there you go. Because the thing is like reasonably, while they're not expecting it to, they don't have anyone else on your team to focus on. So it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like whatever.
Yeah. Once they see me, they're gonna start strafing.
Yeah. And like now, like come on, that's not the angle you want to play, right? So like why
Right.
bother?
Where do I want to play on attack?
Well,
Actually,
gee,
I have
that
a lot.
that would have been a great thing to think about instead of taking a
Yeah, I
grapple
didn't
shot,
think
right?
about
I'm
it.
not, once again,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's like a bad grapple shot, but right, like, is this not the more important thing to be thinking about, right?
Right.
And
Where do I want to be for the
yeah,
fight? Yeah.
okay, so obviously on like a scale of 1 to 10 of awful to great, this is probably like a maybe like a 3 in terms of the Widowmaker scale, at least this first
Yeah.
section
Yeah. The
on
first section's
attack.
rough. Yeah.
Um, so where's your longest sightlines? Do you know?
For the first section or
For
the
this,
first the
for
deployment?
just from where you're at, like this site, because we controlled, this kind of side of the map. Where's your
Sure.
longest sightlines? You have a couple different
Uh,
options.
I guess the bottom left room over here.
This one
Yeah. The like
or
right
this
over
one?
here. Yeah. Yeah. This
Yeah.
one.
So that's pretty good, right? It's a little tricky because they're a little close to you, but that's okay.
Yeah. A little scary. And then uh, I think one more to the right of this, like one more
This one.
doorway to the right, is a little bit longer. I can see like the left a
Hmm.
little better, I think.
Yeah.
And then the top left area.
Top left for the
This.
grapple. Yep.
Yeah.
So what's the best way we can kind of maybe bundle those together and create like a pattern that we want to go for?
Like a path.
Yeah,
I
because
think.
you don't want to sit in like one the whole time,
Yeah.
right? Because
Right.
they'll
Right. Right.
probably just leave.
I think probably starting bottom left.
So start
Start
here,
here.
sorry,
Yeah.
here early.
Yeah. I think starting here because we have a lot of space right now.
So
So
we
the hogs
rotate
would
here instead of
turn.
taking the grapple shot, maybe.
Yeah. Grapple top left from where I was when I took the grapple shot to the little high ground and
Mm-hmm.
then walk through here.
Yeah.
Then I could probably look to take some shots from here,
Mm-hmm.
and then I don't know how much I like the grapple above. I think it kind of depends on into this composition. It really depends on if we're up and like how much space we have.
Yeah.
Right now, I couldn't do it. I don't think. Maybe I could, but I don't really know where they are right now. I don't have that much
Mm-hmm.
info.
So maybe we're gonna have to like take things slow, get a little more info then.
Yeah, yeah. I can hang out in this spot for a little bit because it's not that risky. If I have a Kiriko or Ana near me, so
Hmm. So this, kind of is your replacement for that early grapple shot. Kind of gives you, half of it. Not much on the high ground, but that's probably less likely to get you kills anyways, because
yeah,
here people are still rotating. Here they're kind of already at tension.
sure.
So we're here, or sorry, here. How are we rotating over towards the right side, or like out if they put pressure on us?
They put pressure. I think I have to mm, going going. I think it depends on what pressure it is.
Mm-hmm.
If it is a dive, I think I have to have grapple to get to grapple out through right because if I grapple back
Or
here,
to grapple
yeah, like
like
through
that.
into the little hallway, where cart would be.
Okay, so like just a peek out and then
Yeah,
through there. I would
yeah,
actually aim for the mini maybe,
maybe yeah,
but
maybe. Um,
something along those lines.
right, something like that. Because I think back left, I could go back left, but I think it's pretty easy for anyone to chase me
Yeah,
here.
yeah, I think you get
Maybe
split
not Echo,
apart.
but yeah, the
I
other
think
two.
that's a fair assumption. So
Mm-hmm.
then, are you just thinking maybe to stay here until they dive you rather than worrying about rotating this way, since it's aggressive but has pretty decent leverage over the objective?
I think so.
Hmm.
I don't know. I think right side is like okay, but I just don't have that much. Like, I can kind of mark the Echo, I suppose. I can
Mark
really see where she's coming from
here and
wherever.
a little bit of the high ground, but yeah, that's about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and this one, I mean, the other one that I guess is kind of, the one that we didn't mention is, of course, through the gateway
oh
once
yeah,
it
right.
opens,
Yeah,
especially this one to here,
yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
um, because you don't quite get that same leverage from right door, and
Mm-hmm.
here this is closer to it, so it's a little riskier. And this is
Mm-hmm.
obviously, as we noted, like a more separated flank from the other two, so it can be a
Yeah,
little higher risk, higher reward. Okay, so now that we've discussed that a little bit, let's, kind of take that frame into how we played this.
yeah,
I think you might need your grapple in the next 12 seconds. I
yeah.
can't,
I think I will.
I think it's
You're right.
like a 50-50, and I don't
And I
love
think
that.
yeah, I need to get out right after that shot. I think I need to leave.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that
yeah,
kind of bit. Because, especially too, once you take like 2 shots and give away your position, Like instead of even bothering with that Venom Mine, because once again, that
Yeah,
Venom Mine, I mean, it's
doesn't
not
do
like we can
anything.
stick around here and it's just kind of potatoes,
Yeah,
right?
doesn't really do
So
much.
at that point, you might as well already be dropping here and then
Yeah.
bouncing out over to here, maybe.
Hmm. Yeah, I think so.
Or honestly,
I
if
mean,
you did it,
maybe
if you
just
took the
yeah,
one shot before this guy even, could come over, you could have dropped
then I
into
could play
here and
under.
played under,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not the worst though.
Yeah.
Sure, like, yeah. All right, now we're on the funny Soj here.
Yeah.
Where are you gonna try and first of all, I guess where are you expecting the enemy pressure to be here?
Um, I'm kind of expecting some Kiri slash Ana pressure from like high grounds, and
Mm-hmm.
then dives from Echo and Tracer from like right side, and Doom from kind of anywhere. Doom kind of do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah. Um,
It's a kind of broad base almost
yeah,
almost
everywhere.
everywhere, and
Yeah.
then with danger of like basically airstrikes
Yeah.
in like sharp bursts. So how's
Hmm.
that gonna affect how you're gonna have to play?
I think I've got to be really got to keep slide. I can't really slide aggressively
Mm-hmm.
into their comp pretty much ever. Um, and I think also like holding rail just so that I am a threat is
Yeah.
really good. Like if I'm Tracer, I don't want to dive on a
Yep.
Soda as well, or if I'm an Echo. Doom can still do it, but it makes me a lot scarier to dive. So I think just being patient, really patient with rail, is good.
Yeah, you're right on
And
the
keeping
money. I
slide.
was actually gonna move on to asking about rail right after she kind of preempted that a bit. And especially versus like Doom comps and stuff, or like any comp where it's harder to get rail charge, it's like even more important that you
Yeah.
hold rail. So that's good.
Hmm.
Especially because you guys don't have, yeah, as much dive pressure. I mean, I guess it
Yeah.
depends on how well Lukewarm is, marking the tracer, but
Yeah.
man, seeing Wavy in this lobby is giving me bad memories.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who they are either, but they just beat my team into the ground yesterday with a nobody
Oh,
team that also beat my dive party team into the ground.
this
So,
is so sad.
yeah, seems pretty reasonable. Are there any? So your action right now is, kind of just farming rail off the Doom and whatnot,
Yeah.
kind of playing chill. I have one concern about your positioning here. Do you think
I
you know what it is?
Yeah, I am. I could be naded pretty easily right now,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know where their flankers are. Their tracer could be
Yeah.
literally left side hiding for me, and I could just die.
Yeah.
I think Echo's too big of a threat, but I think nade and tracer are pretty big threats for me right now.
Or a Curie headshot too. Yeah.
Yeah, that as well.
Your angle isolation is a little funky right now. It's not the worst
Yeah.
it could be, but it's certainly not the best because my concern is if they wanted, because we don't really know where the Ana is, a single
Hmm.
Curie headshot on you plus a nade would basically just mean you're dead. Because
Yeah.
Tracer could just, tickle you and
Yeah.
suddenly you collapse.
Hmm.
So, is there a way that we could have modified this action to be a little cleaner?
Just the pathing. Yeah, yeah, I think
Because
so.
it was probably a reasonable action, right? Shooting the Doom here.
I think I could have just kind of stayed tucked and right now, like
Hmm. So
into
you
like
at least
left,
can like
and then
see it a little
or
better. It's like from
yeah,
here, kind of.
yeah, either that or just beeline to the room on left.
So like swing,
Better.
like mark this, check it, and then swing this way,
Hmm.
kind of a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or even just in the door that
Yeah.
I'm right next to.
Yeah, I think this is probably what I
Better
would
as
have
well.
maybe done as my default. Just something I
Okay.
think a little further back. The reason I would swing a little bit this way is because on our approach we
Yeah.
could see that Lukewarm was kind of already playing by here.
Uh huh.
And I don't really like being closer to the objective than I have to be,
Okay.
just because it tends to draw more attention.
Okay.
So this is kind of your lower commitment thing. And okay, but now let's actually pose it on a different level of the question, see if our answer changes, okay? Where are you
Hmm.
wanna go after you farm the Doom here?
After I farm the Doom, so I think like the angle that I'm working towards, I think is going to be that top left area
Okay.
through stairs.
So maybe then you do want to play here, right? Rather than
Yeah, I think
shift
that's
this
what
way.
I was thinking.
Uh-huh. So maybe we
Um.
do play your original thought then of farm
Yeah,
him
this
from
is the window.
here, and then we actually do that original plan of this, marking this once we,
Hmm.
force him out. We're not exposed to this, so if there was a tracer there, we would just be sitting in here with rail. That's pretty good
Yeah.
to me, I think. We mark them, play it kind of chill, maybe drop a slide to get to here, kind of play slow here or something a little bit, and then maybe work our way up.
Yeah.
Sound decent. So that's like kind of another thing is, so for example, like this is a sound option in isolation, but it would probably, it's less efficient for the plan that you wanted,
Yeah.
right? But by the same note, it also has its own different plan of, well, this would open access to if you wanted to slide
Castle.
up here, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
play into the castle, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and once again, this isn't necessarily a reasonable expectation to expect people to be, giga braining everything,
Right.
right? But you do have to think about your actions not just in isolation, but as a chain of actions throughout a fight and in
Yeah.
terms of your potential.
Mm-hmm.
So, like here, this probably got the result we wanted. It definitely brought value to our team farming the Doom here. Uh, it achieved the result we wanted, right? We got rail, we forced out the Doom. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but there were other options that were better, right?
Yeah.
And by the same note, I mean, we're pointing out the correct options, right?
Mm-hmm.
If there ever just doesn't seem to be other options, start throwing the stupid ones out. Because,
Okay.
for example, here, you probably could have slid to here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And inherently, that sounds more stupid than these other options, but it would probably be fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would still be able to farm Doom. You'd have lots of options, actually, that could be
Yeah.
like, for example, catching people here
Yeah.
as they
Yeah.
rotated back. Um, you could also probably just slide to here even
Yeah. Under the little
under the
overhang. Yeah.
ledge and shoot him. You could probably slide into Mega. You
Yep.
could probably just immediately be rotating up here while they're all watching their Doom, right? There's like
Mm-hmm.
there's
Right.
thousands
Right.
and thousands of different possibilities.
Okay.
And this is kind of something I discovered when I was like VOD reviewing myself is whenever I was banging my head against the wall of Sigma and being like, man, this matchup just doesn't seem winnable.
Yeah.
Usually it's because I was just stuck in thinking, oh, this is how I gotta play this.
Right.
So this is like this number three step of, what other options are available. Default to the good ones, right? Or like
Yeah.
the traditionally good ones.
Yeah.
But you can also toy around with, the creative ones, right? Or like, what if
Okay.
we just didn't shoot at all here? Is that,
Right.
I mean, that's probably just less efficient, right? It's probably
Probably.
just, and I mean, I can't think of a justification for it, right? But sometimes there will be.
Yeah.
So,
Team decision.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, for example, if you had OC, right, and you don't want to give
Right.
away your position.
Yeah.
Mhm. Seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah. I ended up kind of not being
This
a
looks
part of
kind
this fight.
of potato. Is there
Yeah.
a way
I'm
that
not.
we could have done that better?
Let's see.
First of all, you let the rail dissipate, right?
Yeah. Could I
Oh,
have not? I mean,
yeah,
could I
that's
have?
my first thing.
Yeah.
No, probably not, right? We already
Yeah.
lost it. And that's okay. I don't mind that.
Okay. Do you think here I should just like slide? Just keep. I think I should, or not even slide. Just keep walking on the bridge.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. I think so.
So my rule of thumb is team doing? Yes or no? Like, are they
Yes.
doing things? Yes, team is doing, you do too. So if team doing, I also do. That's
Yeah.
like my,
Okay.
monkey seed, monkey, like, monkey brain moment. I do
Yeah.
things when team does things,
Uh
right?
huh.
So the hawk is very decisively doing things, whether they're good or
Yes.
bad. So this
Yeah.
is probably your time to be doing things.
Yeah.
Um, and very clearly we don't have much access to angles here, right?
Yeah.
Is this a wrong decision in vacuum to be playing here?
No.
No, it's probably like a fine option. You wouldn't be a GM player if you were just doing wrong decisions constantly. But
Mm.
is there more right solutions?
Yeah. I think there is.
And
I think.
even ones that are more right but sound stupid.
Yeah. I think so. Like
So,
like
mm,
like I was saying, maybe even just sliding across bridge.
yeah,
It might be stupid, but it would get me to that on up pretty
yeah,
quickly.
I guarantee you, if you pull this Ana
With a
and Tracer
disruptor.
out of here, this hog probably survives.
Yeah. A disruptor there is crazy.
You
Honestly.
might die, but yeah, even just a
Might.
disruptor
Yeah.
here, right? That's huge because then
Yeah.
she's either forced closer to your hog or like out,
Yeah.
and yeah, and that or like even like sliding to like here. I know it sound
Yeah.
like kind of sounds like it's stupid because you just spent all this time rotating up here, right? But you
Yeah.
can't be overly attached to your positioning. You got to play for what the
Yeah.
team is doing because that's
Right.
the most
Right.
important context.
Yeah.
I like this one the best. and
Yeah.
just go up here, toss a disruptor, do some poke. I don't think you gotta like go like crazy all in because this hog might just be feeding.
Yeah.
Um, but by the same note, if he dies here, we all die. So the best option is
Well,
play as
true.
aggressive as you can with probably saving your life, or at the least playing so aggressively while saving your life that if they do end up trading you out, it'll have been so costly that there's a chance that this flips in our favor.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
So I think this is probably reasonable.
Hmm.
Because yeah, to me this looks like classic hit scan player of I need to play high ground, I need to play my life, I
Such
need
a
to
pretty
play in the
angle.
back. Yeah, pretty angle, hee hee. And then it's like, well, great, but did we not just like do air?
Yeah.
So,
Did absolutely nothing. Yeah.
and like here, okay, we're on this position. How attached to it are we? Are we gonna like marry this position, or is it like
No,
a fling?
I don't think we can. I think it's more of a fling
More of
because
a fling.
just based on the fact of their
Uh-huh.
team comp, like every position is kind
Yeah.
of a fling in their
Yeah,
team
yeah.
comp.
Especially, yeah. And also, it's all contextual, right? So where is this a good off angle for?
Kind of more the second half of point.
Yeah, so if they're, well, is it good for this part here? Is
I
this
think it's
really like a good
fine.
off? It's fine,
It's
right?
not
But we're not
great.
looking for fine. We're looking
Yeah,
for
we're looking for great. I
great.
think from here, the best off angles for like this second half is
Mm.
probably further up on bridge, maybe,
Yeah,
but that's a
yeah.
little
So like
dangerous.
here, or maybe
Yeah,
even here, right?
yeah, maybe there.
Or
Also, left side I think
maybe
is good.
here, maybe just here, not like going
Yeah,
further, but yeah,
yeah.
something like that, right?
Mhm.
So what's this get good leverage over?
This it allows me to like I like the long sight line across the bridge from
Hmm.
potential divers,
So
like
it
a
has
tracer
lots
coming up.
of
It's nice.
potential, right? Lots of potential options, pretty good for getting information and marking and staying safe.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
it's pretty safe. Yeah,
Um, it doesn't seem like that quite worked, but you
no,
know,
yeah.
I like the principle. In terms of the pressure, where is it good at being an off angle? Where would your team have to be for this to be an off angle? Or where would
Um,
they have to be to, the enemies?
if they were like fighting cart or if like we had like a Winston per se, like and he was like jumping high,
Yeah, yeah, that's
that
the
would be
big
pretty
one,
good.
right? It's good
But
leverage
it's
over height. And
yeah,
especially, or if we push up through here, or
yeah,
if they push up through here, right? Really, really, really good leverage over height. It's also
hmm
broken leverage over like this zone,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Uh, but once we get the cart pass there, uh, I mean, this isn't really an off angle on anything at this point.
yeah. Not really. Pretty much just playing main on high
Hmm.
ground.
Yeah, and not very well
Yeah.
because we're like woohoo, and then the tracer's there, and we're
Oh,
just like, oh yeah, we're just
not gonna
vibing, you
leave.
know, like as soon as she got this health back. So where's our next spot?
I think next spot's probably bottom left area, like you were talking
So like
about.
slide to here maybe, and then try and rotate through and pray that Tracer doesn't follow. Or
Yeah,
slide
either that or I
here
think
maybe with support LOS, I guess.
yeah, I think I'd rather slide
Yeah,
through
yeah.
support LOS.
That sounds better. Yeah, because this would
Yeah.
take you out of the fight. This is another common hit scan mistake on Soj, and well, any hero with mobility is people just go out with it. And that's
Hmm.
just stupid because then you're just like isolating
Then
yourself
you're
and
doing
taking yourself
nothing.
out of the fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's also stupid a lot of the times when people just go forwards with it into their team
Oh yeah. Yeah.
because then you just have like, dude, this was like when you know how there's like the DP videos about like cut the tail off or whatever, and you just kind of run into your team when you're dove. I don't know if you saw those, but it was like a
No, I
philosophy
don't think
thing
about that
where
either.
they're like, when you're on as dove, they should just walk forwards into your team, and it's
Uh-huh.
like, yes, but then you also end up doing some really stupid stuff sometimes like that. So my
Yeah.
recommendation is always just try and sidestep things. You know, it's like when like you're like parrying a, you know, in like a sword fight or something, or like uh when you're blocking like a punch or something. Obviously,
Hmm.
instead of just taking it head on or moving backwards and getting yourself cornered or moving it forwards, which is, you know, better than those others two, the best
Yeah.
option is, you know, smack their arm to the side or something, right? Or like
Sure.
find some way to redirect it. So like here, this is probably good. Uh, Gosh, this is all too far out. This is troll.
Yeah.
Forwards is probably not good because
I don't
they,
think I can. If my Kiri was alive, like potentially, but she's not.
yeah, because they have a lot of force here. Yeah, so I think left is
Yeah.
basically our only option here, and it sounds relatively sound. So
Hmm.
yeah, so you drop. That's like, you know, kind of all right, but you end up under a little more pressure because you're not super decisive with it. It's kind of
Yeah.
whatever though. Good trade, but this is over. You should, as
Yeah.
soon as that pick happened, you should probably just be trolling into that enemy team and feeding for a quick
Okay.
reset. This is like another thing is, okay, maybe this is gonna sound super troll. I don't understand how all of y'all being GM players and tier 3 players and like tier 2 players and all of this, I don't
Yeah.
understand how you guys have such a hard time figuring out when a fight is lost. Because like
Yeah.
when I am on ladder, I see my tank feed into the enemy team when we don't have an angle or whatever, and I'm like, okay, well, peace out. Like I'm like, I
Very
don't know,
true.
maybe I give up the ghost
Do,
like too easily, but
do you not value like trying to get ult charge at the end of the fight? Because that was what
I
I was
don't
doing. Like,
value it.
okay, okay,
Because that's a one-to-one trade. They're just healing
right,
it up.
right,
I know, and unless you're like tracking their ults really carefully,
yeah.
there's no benefit to farming ult unless, okay,
Or if
let
I
me
have or if I
elaborate.
have a rail, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so if you can get a quick trade, great. If you're like very confident you can get a quick trade, but you should still
yeah,
be just inting into the enemy team as decisively as possible after you get it.
yeah.
Uh, if you are very confident you can get more value out of your ult than they can get out of their ults, which, you know, is like I don't really like measuring that, so I just kind of leave that one on the side.
Hmm.
Because, you know, then you're getting more value out of that one-to-one increase of ults. Uh,
Yeah.
or if you know that they have their ults, but that's a lot of brain power to be committing in. So I usually just try and like, if I'm in a position where I'm like, I can cut picks or I can clutch, great, do that. But you should do
Hmm.
it like fast and like die or get out because
Yeah, yeah.
there's no reason to waste time or risk getting
Don't waste
staggered
time.
or
Yeah.
because even I mean, like here, is this realistically going to affect us? Probably not. But like in terms of like habits, you go into a
Right.
scrim and then you watch your team stagger for 4 minutes because everybody has that mentality.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that totally didn't happen to my team yesterday. So,
Oh no. Do you want me to just take that? Yeah, I think I just should have. I think I was a little bit
Yeah.
scared of the Kiri at close range. Is I think the only
I
thing.
don't
It's like
think
I kind of
that's
wanted to force
bad
her
to
out,
be
but
afraid of. Okay, let's like walk this one
yeah,
through from the start here a little more
yeah,
methodically because this one has less obvious solutions. So,
yeah.
is team doing?
No.
Probably not. Yeah, Lukewarm is doing things a little sooner than he should be, but nobody
Yeah,
else is really doing anything.
yeah.
So this looks all good. This looks probably fine.
Mm.
You're
Team is
doing
about to
things
start
now
doing.
though, which makes me a
Oh yeah,
little concerned because team is not quite doing things. So she could
yeah.
be looking at you here and marking you, and that's
Headshot would be pretty
yeah,
bad.
because then you would basically just be out for the fight. I don't think it's
Hmm.
like terrible, right? But it's like, is this really adding much value? Probably not. You
Not
probably
really.
don't reach
No.
OC this fight anyways, and nor should we
Mm-mm.
need it because we have two or three other ults, and you don't
Yeah,
have good positioning for it anyways. I'd rather use it for point C or for the latter point of point B.
yeah,
Um, I would rather if we kind of just rotated up here, I think, during this time instead of sitting here shooting her, and then shot her from here where we have like more lethal marking,
yeah.
more
And I could
control
also
over it, have the health
shuffle that
pack,
easily.
yeah, disruptor, yeah. And this is, and if you can make the Ana look at you, great, your hog is like free though. For
Yeah,
like swimming in as, you know, a tub of golden coins or whatever
yeah,
Ebenezer Scrooge does.
yeah.
They're on a drop. She's a little weird
Oh,
here.
yeah. But I do you think getting distracted on the honest fine? But I don't know.
No, I don't think it's fine.
Yeah, I don't think it is either.
But,
I
you
think I
know,
really need to complete this rotate.
yeah, because like this is like one of the things of like, you know, you're just reaching for the easy thing that's in front of you
Yeah,
and you're not keeping your eye on that future potential. Because
yeah.
it's like, well, great, what's your future potential here? It's gonna probably take you 10 seconds at least, I think, to
Hmm.
get into any good position from here, besides
Yeah,
just sliding into main, and I don't consider that a good
and that's not a
position.
good position. Yeah,
Um, because the way I see it, we either have to rotate here and then rotate this way, or we have to rotate this way to here.
yeah.
And this isn't
I don't like this.
great, but it's like doable and can get a lot of attention, and you can also slide to here. But like this is
Yeah,
way higher risk than doing
right.
this, and I think we would rather play low risk because we're going to get OC in 30%.
Hmm.
Um, So yeah, I would rather you prioritize, your grand scheme of things, your master plan,
Yeah, yeah,
than worry about the Ana, because she will die in her due time. And if she
yeah,
doesn't
for sure.
die, that's not actually a problem for our team really, because she's already been forced into stupid positions, and we already
Right.
gained the
We can
space
get
that we
it easily.
wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like, does this really affect you that much? Not really. Okay, you gotta,
Maybe, honestly. Yeah, I gotta get out of there.
yeah, peace out here. But so like, realistically, you didn't like face much consequences for that downtime. But if we're just looking at this from like, this is what I'm talking about, kind of, where I'm like, just always like, well, what could be better here? How
Yeah,
could we have
right.
done it better, right? Because obviously, is that wrong? No, like, not probably really. It's like you're through the game by doing that, right?
Yeah, but like,
But
that's
it's
not.
like, come
I
on,
don't care if I throw a rank game,
yeah,
honestly.
exactly. And there's like some, quote on some back of like some college is sweatshirt or something that was like, aim for perfection, catch excellence or something. And that's kind of like, what I like to try and vibe
Yeah.
with here, where it's like, well,
Hmm.
you might as well hold yourself to trying to reach like the theoretical best, or like hold
Yeah.
yourself against that. And like at the worst, you're going to be at least, moving forwards.
Hmm. Hmm.
This was good though. I liked the rotation onto bridge. It's scrappy, and you should keep moving this way. You
Yeah.
shouldn't like linger here, but I liked
Yeah.
that decisive movement towards there, because if
Hmm.
they're like hard pressing one side of the map, you should absolutely take the space that they left open, and you should
Right.
absolutely rotate hard on the other side of the map to like compensate, because
Yeah.
you always have, every force should have equal and opposite reaction, or whatever
Of
the
course.
physics is. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think you needed a rail there necessarily, but you would have dissipated anyways,
Yeah.
so.
It would have gotten the kill, but
Yeah, but we don't really care about the aiming things, because to me, it's all about the intention. And the only
right.
time I
Right.
ever look at the execution of it is if, like, for example, if you needed that kill, like, if that
Right.
was, like, at a critical
Yeah.
moment, which I don't usually, I, I don't think you should ever be in a situation where you need to hit one mechanical play to win a game.
Hmm.
That means you've made, like, thousands of errors before the game, like, before that
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
moment.
Right. Right. Right.
But by the same note, there are very rarely sometimes you just can't afford to make a mistake. I don't remember if you
Yeah.
asked about this or someone else, but it's like, when you're driving a car, you can't just afford to crash, right? Like that just
Yeah.
you just can't. Like I
I
mean,
think.
you can and you can recover, but it's like you really don't want to.
Yeah. I think for the mechanical shots, it's like just don't miss the easy ones. Like
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
problem if you're
right.
consistently missing a hard scoping
Yeah,
on it. That's when it's a
yeah.
problem.
And don't take the hard ones if you don't have to, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
This seems a
That
little
was
reasonable,
a little,
but
little
kind of
early,
troll.
maybe.
Yeah, so if we look at this, is team doing?
Team is not doing.
Yeah, so maybe we just like
Where is
hold
team?
here. Like
Yeah.
team is very not
Team is.
doing.
Oh, they're clearing
Yeah,
out the echo. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
So
this is definitely
yeah,
too early.
yeah. So like we could have been even like here, right?
Yeah. I
Or
actually
like
like
up
that more.
here, or like
Hmm.
just because this is hard for the tracer to get approach on, or like all of
Yeah.
these options, right? Because we look at this and you're like, oh yeah, I want rail, but then it's
Hmm.
like, well, do we need rail?
No. Not really.
No.
I don't think I can really do much with it really, even if I
Yeah,
have it, because
yeah.
their supports are going to be
You would just end
covered.
up holding on to it anyways until the time that you probably would have already just charged rail again, because
Yeah.
your team is out doing whatever. And like Ame is struggles a lot with this too. So like I've talked with them about
Uh-huh.
this, but like, and this is like what the thing is, like so much of refining to like really good play isn't just like, oh yeah, what's the correct play? It's like it's like boiling down the inefficiencies, right? And so like
Yeah.
cutting away at what isn't necessary. Because like we
Optimizing it.
survive this, right? And we have rail. So it's like, did this achieve, the result you wanted? Yeah, you got rail, right? And you got a little more ult charge.
Yeah.
Uh, does that result bring value to your team? Not probably
Mm,
really that much compared to the other
no.
options. You can't realistically get a kill there.
Yeah, and the cooldowns
Um,
that enemies used aren't really like
yeah,
significant.
they're very renewable,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Wasn't a major challenge.
Uh, yeah, I got the result you wanted. Other options available at the moment. We talked about those. We could have just played
Yeah.
slower with lower
A little bit further
risk.
back. Yeah.
Um, and those probably would have been more effective than the one you chose, but
Yeah.
not by like a significant margin, but it would shift the chances in your favor.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe you wouldn't have gotten rail before otherwise doing the other options.
Yeah.
Wow, was the Echo, she was still
Yeah, she
back
was
there,
still
dog?
all the way back
That's
there.
crazy. Yeah, it should have been just lukewarm clearing her from the beginning,
Yeah,
but you know, it
100%.
is,
I mean, it's so easy from here,
that's
so
just the latter moments.
yeah.
So, why are you just
I I don't
dogging
know.
up here?
I don't
Okay,
know.
so out of all the actions, this is the one you
This is
choose.
rough. Yeah.
Okay, what's a bundle that you think maybe could be a little better here while this dude is slept?
While this dude slept, I think just starting to walk up that top left high ground because that could give
Yeah,
me an angle on their Ana or a great disruptor on their Kiriko and a rail on their Kiriko. So I
yeah.
think starting to walk up.
Yeah, the two most intuitive options I see here are swing this way and try and tap the
Hmm.
tracer, which I don't love as much as the one you said. I think it's better
Yeah.
to just walk up here, or honestly, I think you could even slide up here, dog, while this guy slept.
Yeah. While
Go
this
hit
is
the
sleep.
rail and then
Right.
drop.
Yeah. That's not bad. Not bad. Yeah.
Because then, like, because you know that this is like, they can't contest this at this moment, just for a
Yeah.
split second.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we're going to find a better rail opportunity for a bit. Other option is you could
No.
just hold rail.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're going to see a better opportunity than trying to hit the Ano there. Mm, I
Mm.
respect it, but it's just. Mm, uh,
I mean, yeah. I think with the trying to think like with the Nano Doom right now,
mhm.
I can't really go forward. If I go forward, I'm dead.
Yeah, you can't
Pretty much.
afford to use
Can't slide
slide.
at all.
I just wish that she was a little more committed.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll give it a. I don't love it, but I don't see any better options at a glance. And maybe if we like
Maybe
really
the
dug in, we
tracer.
could have found something like, yeah, Tracer is.
Wait, where is she? Oh.
Yeah, she recalled.
Mm,
Maybe we could have
yeah.
like held like that. The only option I'm seeing is maybe we could have held it, but once again, I still don't think there was like I didn't expect to have this opportunity for rail.
Yeah.
Um, I still don't expect there to be like that many good rail opportunities in the near future, but maybe that's
No.
going to change because their Doom is using his ult and therefore his power spike is going to be going down in probably like 6 seconds.
Yeah.
But it might be hard to keep rail till then, so I don't
Right.
know. It's probably fine. You're a little jumpy there, but I think that's probably better safe than sorry.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Good aggro. Nice. Very nice on that play.
Thank you. Yeah.
Um,
I think just the fact that that Doom is dead just opens me up to so much
yeah,
movement.
yeah.
I think I wonder if I could have waited a little longer though. Like
Probably.
if I could have been on like that left pillar
Yeah.
right before when I OC'd, then I could have had an angle potentially on the Echo, and I might have even not had to slide. And if I did have to slide, it would be on their Ana, which is just an
Yeah.
easy shot,
The other
right?
mark thing here is team doing?
Team is not doing.
Team is not doing, yeah. And that's kind of on them because they should probably be pressing this more aggressively.
Yeah.
Um, and I know that you want to like capitalize on the space that the Doom is like with him out,
Mm-hmm.
but I just don't think we need it here. Neither the
Yeah.
Nano nor the OC. Like this is such a
Mm-hmm.
big power spike, and they can probably kite this out and just like, what is our Hog doing while we're doing that? What is our,
Right.
Ana doing while we're doing that? It just
They can't do much.
and like, maybe you just pop off and kill three or whatever, but it's like, well,
Yeah. We
is
shouldn't
that
rely on that, I
still,
don't think.
yeah, is that still like our most efficient option? Because I look at like the alternatives to this. Um, I don't know if this was communicated to Nano it or not.
No, I don't comment on
Because if she just good based,
it.
if you just take the Nano here, you could probably just walk up with just the Nano with no OC, or you hit OC and she nanoed it, I think, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So like
for
maybe
sure.
we could have just walked this way and gone for like a disruptor and some tentative poke, and then
Yeah,
as their Doom comes out again, we
yeah.
just like we're poking from here. He comes out, we're moving this way like the instant we see him because we know
Mm-hmm.
that he's going to be looking at us if we keep looking at him. So
Yeah,
you let him come to here on your Ana, and the instant he does that, you slide this way with OC.
yeah, yeah. I
And
think that's
maybe that's like a slightly more elegant solution, What you're doing is
Yeah.
probably gonna work, but it's kind of like beating a nail with a sledgehammer.
Yeah. And it is also like a little bit more mechanically
Yeah,
demanding
yeah.
for sure.
And I like if you're confident you have the mechanics for it, by all means. Like and like I love this, and I think you handled this choice very nicely.
Yeah.
Um, because like look,
Randomly, I
even
feel
if
like I
that
have
Doom
that.
goes on you, your team still is able to just farm him
Yeah, it was an
because
expensive kill
yeah,
for him.
yeah.
Slam
And that's
punch.
the goal, right? Is if you're making that's why you want to do when team is doing is because then if they're going on you, there's actual cost to it, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you're the only person doing something, there's no cost to them just, going on you.
Mm-hmm.
And vice
Mm-hmm.
versa, if they, are going on your team and you're not punishing that by, you know, doing something, they're just getting
Yeah.
it for free.
Mm-hmm.
This sucks, dog.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is quite for sure yet, but this does not feel good.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, that wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's see. Okay. So I think
well, warning sign 1 is we're on the same angle as our tracer, right?
oh yeah. Am I when the game? Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know
Okay.
if she changes that, but as it stands right now, you are. Sorry, what were you gonna say before I stepped out?
I was gonna say generally I think I like the default car position, but I
Mm-hmm.
haven't really tried too many other ones out. But I think I should be on the left side of car right now. This is bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I'm.
Because
I guess I
there
want to get
could be
charge on
people
Doom.
peeking a little earlier here.
There could be a widow shot
Yeah.
as well.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
That
consideration.
like I could just die.
If you want early farming, you can do like a tiny
Ooh,
bit from here.
that's a good
Not,
disruptor angle too.
not, yeah, not too much because people will catch on it, but
Hmm.
just like a couple shots just to tickle them, and then you can
Yeah,
go to
20
here,
charge
tickle
as
them a
well.
little, go here, tickle them a little, right? And that adds up to like maybe like 50 charge or something.
Yeah.
And like, it's better than nothing, and it's a little safer than just doing it from here.
Uh-huh.
Um, okay, so Lukewarm does mark the other side, but he just gets pounded.
Yeah.
I think right here, you see that tracer, I assume.
Tracer?
Yeah,
Sojourn?
or yeah, sorry, Sojourn. You saw like,
I
a
think I did.
person
Yeah.
there, and I don't think we can rail them until they commit, and
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna commit until we rail.
Right.
Which makes me wonder if I would rather just instead of wasting my time here and letting them set up and stuff, if it'd be better to just
Yeah.
move
Right
this way
now.
now and then start circling around this way because they
Right.
seem really inclined to rotate out this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
we
think
don't have a person, I mean, we have our hog here, I guess, but with Lukewarm down, we don't have that much pressure there.
yeah, I think I wanted to keep the threat of this on left side, but I mean they just have so much pressure here. The Zen and the Surge
Yeah.
is too much. And then I'm just kind of
This
this
is
is
a
really
mistake,
bad.
yeah, because you have
This is really
rail,
bad.
and so this is like,
Yeah, why am I shooting him?
what I told my, alternate dimension team or whatever is like, you can you can, hear the thunder, but watch for the lightning, like the thunder isn't the danger here. He's kind of like, the thunder, so to speak.
Right,
Like
right.
he's loud, he's in your face. You're like, "Oh my gosh,
But
that's some thunder." But he's not the real threat here.
Coach has rail right now, and I'm
Yeah.
looking at this guy in no
Yeah.
cover.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like you're sitting here looking at the small prey, but
yeah,
even more importantly than that, these guys will murder you if you are all
yeah.
looking at a Doom. Doom will
Right,
not murder you if you are all looking at these guys. I
right,
mean, he'll
right.
be a nuisance and he'll do a
Yeah,
lot of damage, but like I'm gonna be real, you're almost throwing if she's like threatened by this.
yeah,
And that's like one of those things you just kind of gotta trust that. But like, look, all of you guys are looking at these guys. Look at how free these guys are rotating in
yeah.
right now.
This is yeah. So
So,
hmm. I
so,
think
go ahead.
from when I did slide, I think instantly I should probably be looking to get onto that right side
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I think I know
We
that
lost this side, right? Which means we have
100%.
to
Yeah,
match the rotation somewhere.
yeah. And if I know that Echo's on that right side, I think Echo is my best target for rail right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So
Or the Zen, probably one of
yeah,
them.
yeah. Um,
That goes
I
probably the
think she's
most
so
meaningful, I think. So yeah, that's
yeah,
probably a good
and
call.
she's also, in my opinion, the easiest. Her body is massive, so
Dude,
it's
I
easy.
can't rail an Echo to save my life, but I'll take your word for it.
I promise it's easy. Um,
Uh, Yeah.
But yeah. So I think so.
So we kind of go through and we're like, okay, well, our initial actions, got us rail, but we didn't chain it very well into future actions, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of got the value we wanted. Doesn't really bring that much value to your team though, because we're spending our rail looking at a Doomfist instead of looking at our other people.
Hmm.
So then if we look at the value chain, right? Because you can look at not just one action, but just the whole chain of value, right?
Yeah.
Because like I said, this is like a structure for value reviewing where you can just look at whatever granularity you want,
Yeah.
right? So, or like I said, we can look as small as crosshair placement, we can look as big as chains of value or entire fights or even the whole game for all I
Yeah.
care, right? And so here we're looking at the chain, and the
Hmm.
chain isn't really achieving the results that we want, right? Because we want to put meaningful pressure on someone, right? We want to get kills, we want to do something, and
Yeah.
we're not really doing that. Uh, so at the point in the chain where we could have probably done things to change that is here, right? Because this stuff, we could have changed this too, but this is
Hmm.
probably the more meaningful deviation from the result that
Yeah.
we wanted. Our options here probably, we use slide, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so options here are probably watch the echo, maybe don't shoot her right away, but you could either shoot her right away here, or you could swing here and look to shoot her,
Hmm.
or you could probably I also think it's probably good to look at her just because she's in the most aggressive position. Like these guys
Yeah.
are not that lethal right now. You could you could probably just have turned around and matched this. I don't really like that much. So I think that goes probably just by far the most correct
Yeah. I think so.
thing
I
here.
think swinging at the right room is probably
Regardless
best.
of, yeah, I think this is probably the best. I don't think this is bad either necessarily, but it has slightly
Yeah, it's
worse
not terrible.
isolation.
The
Um,
I will say the nice thing about that second position that we just talked about, the
mhm.
less good one, is that I will have LOS on the Doom for my next rail. So if I use rail on this
Oh,
Echo,
yeah,
then I
yeah,
can charge it up again pretty quickly,
yeah.
which is nice.
Alternatively, though, by the same note, here you have to worry about the Doom
That's
less.
true.
And
Yeah,
also, you're more likely to distract these people and keep
that's
them
true. Yeah.
off your team.
Hmm. Hmm.
And if they ignore you, you can honestly just slide in and disruptor shot
Yeah.
them from
Right.
behind.
Yeah.
And it might sound like a little trolly, but like, can they really afford to punish you? Probably not. And if they
No.
do, your team
Yeah.
probably just is fine. So,
Yeah. Okay.
so yeah, we kind of, crumple. It is what it is. Here, great trade, but
Die.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's definitely a big
I
thing.
don't really care that much after that though, because if we look at this, Lukewarm dies, fight's probably still winnable.
Yeah, I think so at this
Uh,
point.
but from this point onwards, this is lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't care if we kill the Doom because they come back faster. And like,
Yeah.
are we in any position as a team to win this fight?
No,
Nope.
not at all.
So at this point,
We have no position.
this
Yeah.
is where I recommend just sliding into the
Sliding
Zen.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And like,
Yeah.
maybe you like startle them, they all look at you and Ana gets a sleep and a nade and like gets some kills here and maybe this becomes clutchable. But unless we do
Yeah.
something drastic or like unpredictable, we just lose. Or
Yeah.
alternatively, if you're really confident you can get out, great. I don't see any clean kite here.
Yeah.
So, because this, we end up on top of our people and we know that they're controlling this side of the map. So we should assume that this is not a viable kite back. And then
Yeah.
this is kind of janky because Echo is already like,
Hmm.
there. So, yeah, see, like, look at this. The Doom is probably fine, but the Zen is like the fact that
Right.
well,
Look at him.
he's kind of trolling because he should,
Hey,
I mean,
oh
he
my!
taps
It's
lukewarm,
smoked.
but he
Yeah.
should
I mean,
just be
he
here
should. He
because he
should.
would have gotten like a triple kill on you
100%.
guys.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. He
even
would
like
have.
I think one kick can melee's multi-hit?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
think he could just kick all of you guys and just
Oh,
cleave
that
it.
would have been
Or
deadly.
he did. He kicked the Kiri at least.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So that is kind of crummy, but
Yeah.
And I will say, so like we've been looking at this VOD and it's like, you're like, oh yeah, this was kind of poor from you, and it's like, well, that doesn't really have any bearing on the review, does it?
No, I don't think so.
And like, we could have been doing this even if you guys got full held, right? I
Yeah.
mean, we still would have gotten pretty good value out of it, I think, in terms of, seeing some options. And there's always this thing of like, oh my gosh, I need to pick the biggest option, the most like we could have looked at anything that we did. So like, I don't know, we've
Yeah.
we've had some issues with updating our angles, playing with angles that are like good positions to actually move into other angles, right, with like high potential, doing things when our team is doing things, holding rail.
Mm-hmm.
Like we could just choose any of those completely
Yeah.
arbitrarily. And I think
Yeah.
that's like another thing is like players psych themselves out and think, oh my gosh, I need to work on the thing. And it's like there's no the thing. It just play is play, right? And focus on a
Yeah.
piece of it.
Yeah.
Oh come on, this is stupid. What are you doing,
What?
dog? You're
What?
doing nothing up here.
Where do you? Yeah.
Surely there's
Yeah.
better option, right?
Yeah. No, there is. There is.
Like okay, so like at
Yeah.
the very least, like I didn't hate that part, right? But like wasting rail there, like
Yeah. Yeah. It's they're yeah.
our
The
hog
eagle are
is our hog is dead.
poor guy. Yeah. But like, that's just a rail that I'm not supposed to hit that rail. The Ana is like so aware of me. She's strafing me
Yeah,
and my
yeah,
Kiriko. Like I'm not supposed to hit that rail. Sometimes I will, but I shouldn't go for
yeah.
it. Yeah.
So like I wonder here, I would rather maybe just slide out and just keep the rail as an insurance policy for if someone tries to mark us,
Yeah. Like just kind of see us as
or
lost
at least
or.
shrug the attention and slide over this way, maybe hit a rail from here or like here,
Uh huh.
right? So like this
Yeah.
is a common thing that you do on Widow, right? Is you take two shots. If they
Yeah.
look at you, why bother with it, right? That's not a good advantage. So you might as well
Yeah.
just, reposition and buy Echo,
Hmm.
buy Ana, right? Someone here,
Yeah.
or even drop here, buy Tracer, right?
Yeah.
Or
That shot
Soch.
on the Ana is so easy from
Yeah,
that angle. Yeah.
yeah. Like I hate this angle because this is just vertical main.
Yeah. I hate this. Is so hard to hit. Like I
So
hate. Yeah.
I'm like,
I
well,
get
you
you.
better at least be here because then it's like even higher. But this is like kind of uncomfy too.
It's
This
not
is
bad for the
cool, but
echo,
it's a little
but yeah.
restricted. I like having my backline here, kind of like
Yeah.
bridge in here. Maybe like
Yeah.
one person here, like a tracer to kind of mark this and this and this and whatnot. And
Hmm.
maybe like my tank is like playing here as a dive tank or like down here or something.
Yeah.
And then that's pretty cool.
Hmm.
But and you're also very deceptively close to the enemy right now.
Yeah. I
I know
am.
it feels like you're
The
kind of
echo,
far away
especially.
because you're on high ground, but yeah, the echo especially and like the doom, like
Hmm.
they could be on top of you in like, 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that you like wasted even more time still looking up on it after firing that rail is
Yeah.
kind of eh.
Yeah.
I don't know how your team is getting kills, but
You know?
the magic happens, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this position for farming rail, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
think it's
Right.
pretty
But
reasonable for that.
when.
It just,
Hmm.
but it's like so obvious for when they're like look at how much they're just like spamming it.
Yeah. And they're also very
Yeah,
clearly trying to dodge my rail,
yeah,
like
yeah.
or charge.
Like they're so aware of you here, so it's not really an off angle. You're kind of just main at this point.
Yeah.
Then it's
Getting
okay
to.
because it's not like there's that many other people playing main here at the moment. But then it'd
Yeah.
be so much better if we had like, someone down here or whatever, and we
Yeah.
just don't have control over that on
Yeah.
ladder.
I like the fact that I'm holding their Sojourn and Ana there, but I
Hmm.
can also be doing that from left side, I think.
Yeah, possibly. This is really nice. That's nice. But now just, mm, so like that's one, for example, I would have just written that off. Not like fully out, but like just back into here until you like the fight is a little more clear because we're very clearly not in a position to do more really in this fight that
Yeah.
much if we're over
Hmm.
here and we don't have rail or whatever. So like sometimes I don't know if this is correct or not. So this is like, you don't have to take this if you don't
Okay.
agree. But like I like to just sometimes back out of the fight and usually I can just re-engage if someone else on my team gets a pick in like 2 seconds or whatever and it's not like too catastrophic.
Mm.
Because like
Okay.
for this, like could we clutch it? I mean, when I said, let's see, I called off the fight right here, right? From
Yeah.
this situation, like it's probably winnable, I guess. But like in terms of like
Maybe.
my positioning, I would rather just recollect as a team. And I know you don't have control over that in ladder, but by the
Right.
same note, there's no reason to feed them extra ult charge, especially because we have
I
our
don't need
ult,
it.
right? So
Yeah.
any trade that we do here, they're just getting, a little more of their ults
Hmm.
towards Trance or whatever. And like especially great that we, got that kill there on the Ana. So like maybe
Yeah.
now we just chill like yeah, I don't like have like a correct like woohoo this is a genius thing here.
Yeah.
uh
Or
I would just
not
play it
optimal.
tentatively with options to kite back if you're not like immediately because like the option is fight or flight, right? If
Yeah.
you're in fight range you should just do that all the way, right?
Yeah.
If you're in flight range, I think you should just do that almost all the way or all the way. I really
Yeah.
hate catching yourself halfway through because we're not in a position to fight here,
Mm-mm.
right? So we can't like aggressively trade. And I'm not that confident in our setup here. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like so maybe we just play like a tentative thing where we keep our options open to flight.
Yeah. Like maybe like kiting back to like back right where the Mega Ren is
Yeah,
almost.
yeah.
Oh,
It seems reasonable considering the
yeah. I guess
yeah.
I'm just kind of staying as a pack with my Orisa.
Yeah, which is like fair, I think. So yeah, we kind of, managed to find our way into fight range anyways and clean it
But that's
up.
kind of just because they were like, what is that Zen doing
Yeah,
there?
yeah. And once again, maybe this fight was winnable from the beginning, but by the same note, I think both like you, in an ideal world, I think both you and the Orisa could have just basically backed out for no
Yeah.
consequence, and we could have just re-engaged, and it would have achieved the same result.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, that's always like a tricky, like I haven't figured out a perfect structure for that kind of stuff, so I'm afraid I can't give too much help there. That was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Good job punishing the guy doing things when his team wasn't doing things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, real quick, let's take a look if he had an option to just peace out.
Oh yeah, he did. He had all of his
Yeah,
cooldowns.
dude, he got so greedy. Yeah, see, so that's like, prime example of the doing while team is not doing. He totally could have just left
Oh,
here
100%.
and written off
Yeah.
that fight, and he just doesn't.
Zero chance I kill him. He's full HP right now.
Yeah,
Doom
and just
plays.
staggers himself. Disruptor shot doesn't do anything, but it doesn't really matter because you'll have back.
Yeah.
Oh, you actually cut it a little close there on the
Yeah.
disruptor shot,
Mm-hmm.
but it's probably fine. Jeez, Doom respawns so fast.
Yeah.
I don't like this at all,
Yeah.
because
This felt bad in the moment. I know.
so what's like kind of the issue, do you think?
Well, so the thing is that I'm trying to pressure their Ana, but
Mm-hmm.
the Ana doesn't need to peek me at all. She has
Yeah, not
LOS with
really.
what she wants right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like she just doesn't have a reason to peek me. She can just still see her Ana and Zen. Like if she's rotating, she's not rotating right now,
Yeah.
but she's not gonna rotate pretty much even if I'm,
So we can't pressure that
remote.
meaningfully.
Yeah,
And the other thing, of course, is we can't really isolate out the echo angle here to like, just be going after the Ana.
yeah,
So that's like this kind of reminds me of like our situation where we talked about like down here with the angle isolation and stuff, where it's
yeah,
like, especially because we know that the Doom is over here. So this makes me super, super uncomfortable. The fact that there are people who are not in front of us.
yeah. There are people almost from all angles right
Yeah.
now.
And so like this is always my danger warning signs going off is you should always have the full team in front of you at all times, like, at least as much as possible.
Sure, yeah,
Um, because or at least well rather not all in front of you but like within like a 180.
yeah. A little
So like
cone.
here if you pulled back to here kind of to address this echo,
That'd help.
this is like a reasonable-ish 180. It's kind of pushing it, but the Doom isn't, he doesn't really count because he's like kind
He's
of
too
weird.
far.
Yeah, he's kind of far. And these people don't like totally count because they're like indoors and they'll pop up here.
Yeah.
It's like it's just like a little weird and tricky, and just you want to isolate out as much as you don't need to be exposed to.
Hmm.
Well, that
Ow.
sucked. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles
Yeah. I
sometimes.
mean, I think that's kind of the thing, though. Like, that's kind of the thing, like, people behind me. Like, I just kind
Yeah.
of walked into this area. The Doom is so close to me.
Yeah, and you're totally stacked with your team here too.
Yeah, I think that left area is a lot better in this situation.
Yeah, because here you would have had the opportunity
I
to
could have.
drop
Yeah, that's a,
and then
yeah.
hit a disruptor there if you didn't use a couple seconds scout. The other thing
Hmm.
is, this is gonna sound super, super troll, okay? You
Okay.
also probably could
I
have just slid onto the
I think I
with
could have. Yeah.
disruptor. Because
I think I could have.
if they turn on you, you're trading one person
For
for Anna's
4.
attention, Doom probably cashing out on his positioning and not getting objective progress. The
Yeah.
Zen might panic and pull over this way too. Echo probably looks at you, maybe even the Soj too.
Yeah.
Um, so we either get kills here or they basically just get nothing out of trance and
Yeah.
stuff besides the one kill. And
Yeah.
we have a
And
lot of ults.
Yeah, and if I trade 1-for-1 me for the Ana, I'm happy with
That's
that.
yeah, that's totally fine. Especially because you're on defense and you're just playing to wear down the clock and stuff. You don't need as
Yeah,
much advantage.
yeah,
Um, and even better is if you trade out here and then survive for a little bit, because then they have like even more have to mark you, because otherwise you're on like a super powerful angle.
hmm
So, I'm not saying that's more correct necessarily than doing this, but it's once again another one of those options.
yeah.
You also could have just dropped here and kind of went down. Actually, no, that's stupid because of the
A
Doom.
little scary from the Doom, yeah.
Yeah, probably playing on this side of the map because this is where they're not marking as much.
Yeah.
But yeah, ironically, like the reason I'm mentioning these things though is because this pulls the Doom and their attention away from your team, but here they're all just looking at your team.
Yeah.
Like no matter who you look at, everybody on our team is in front of them except the Doom, but
hmm
he's a little bit of a weirdo.
Yeah.
But he could have, of course, made his engage even better by landing here
Right. Yeah, that
and
would have
punching
slammed
you in.
4 of us.
Yeah,
5. Yeah, that would have been crazy. Yeah.
yeah, and then slam punch. He probably would have his ult, just ult slam here, hop out, do things like that.
hmm
But he does displace you away from your team, and you kind of just get tapped, and it happens sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's sure people feel safer with their team. I promise you, it is not safer.
Yeah.
The golden. I haven't figured out a good way to like say this, in like a nice, neat way.
hmm
But the golden ratio between distance from your team is you want to be as far away as you can be while still being able to receive your team's resources
hmm
in the amount of time that it takes for the enemy to close their distance on you. So, for
Yeah, I
example,
think I
if
know what you're
they can
talking about.
close distance on you really fast, you still should not be stacked on your team, but you should be at a smaller off angle, right? Because they will be fast on you faster, and therefore you'll need to get the resources faster.
hmm
Um, and if they're on like really spread apart comps, things like or if there's resources that go pretty fast or good across range, like a Zen Orb or whatever, you can afford to play pretty spread out, right?
Right.
So like you can
Right.
afford to play really far from your Zenith Tracer. If you have a Curie, you probably want to be a little closer to her or have her closer to you, right?
hmm
And that's kind of the guiding principle is you're safest where you hit that golden point of I can receive my team's resources, but I am not stacked. Like in a sufficient degree, but I am not stacked with my team. And I am actually
Sure.
as far away from my team as I can be while still receiving a sufficient amount of resources in the amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish I could figure out, the nice trite
Yeah.
phrasing for that, but
Yeah.
I don't really care what happened there because we kind of just tossed out 3 ults and they
Yeah.
tossed out 1 or 2. It looked like you probably did well.
I think it was fun.
And like I'm sure if we like really wanted to micro it, we could, but and this is like the other thing, of course, with this method is it is a little time consuming.
Yeah.
So you have to be like, you know,
You'd be ready to just
yeah.
say whatever.
My recommendation usually is just when you're playing ladder, write down a couple like VOD like timestamps or whatever, like as in like fights that you want to go back and look at, and just look at it in like just a couple fights or whatever
Like
instead of like
while I'm playing.
yeah between queues or
Okay. Yeah.
yeah while you're playing, like if you die while you're dead, just reach over, jot out, be like uh 30 minutes or sorry,
The
three
clock.
three min left, Ike B offense or A for attack or whatever, right? Like you can figure out
hmm
your own shorthand, and
Yeah.
or just after the game too, you can be like, oh yeah, I want to look at this during it. And because like looking at fight, like just one fight or whatever, one action, that's so easy for
Yeah.
stuff compared to like a whole VOD, and you
Yeah.
get less lost in it.
Yeah.
Doc, you are
Surely
so
the auto will be here soon enough. I
yeah.
want that shot so
And
badly.
it's so ironic because while you're looking away, that's when she finally comes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's kind of okay because I don't think there's much to do elsewhere. Uh,
Uh, I know. I could have
Sorry, I
dropped
rescind
one.
that. There was definitely
No,
stuff to do
yeah, I
elsewhere.
could have killed the Soch. I
Yeah,
rail. I could have
yeah, we
dropped
could
right
have
down.
pursued her.
I like
or
dropping.
even clean
Yeah,
this up more decisively too, because
yeah,
we have the off angle, and they're at this point they're so fragmented that it doesn't matter if we stack with our team, right?
yeah,
This is like a common thing is, you don't stack because you want as much advantage for dealing with pressure as possible, splitting attention, all of that stuff. But you also don't often need to separate as much from your team when things get scrappy because at that point you have the numbers advantage, which just means you have like
yeah,
such an overwhelming resource advantage that you don't need to eke out every little bit of other advantage.
yeah,
I
yeah. I think.
yeah, that was kind of a waste.
Yeah,
And also, why would you disrupt her there, dog? She's not gonna
yeah.
stay
That's
there.
crazy.
Like,
That's crazy.
come on, like, that's so free. And if you toss that there, you might be able to
Maybe
drop
on
and
the
pursue.
yeah,
Maybe. I don't think
maybe.
you need
Well, I
to,
mean,
and I would recommend you
it,
probably don't. But
or if I dropped it there, then it might have pushed her into my
right,
LOA.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right. I think
yeah.
that's
That's
the
probably
bigger
better.
thing.
Yeah, because this is a slightly better angle for yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So there was, slight optimizations we could have made there.
yeah,
Drop. Why?
yeah, yeah. I
Right,
should have
like
dropped
just chase
100%.
that,
Like,
because if they go on you now, they're just actually trolling the
yeah,
lobby.
yeah.
Right.
I think I know that all of them are over there, so
Yeah,
I know the space is mine, so
yep,
I should take that.
yep, exactly, yeah. Because if once again, equal opposite reaction. If they're pressing here, well, you might as well press here, right? Like, it's just a waste to not, because otherwise they're just gonna wrap up here, choke out your angles, force you all onto bridge or whatever, and then you maybe are gonna go here because you're scared, and they're just like gradually working the map out from under you, compared to just sidestepping this way. And
Yeah.
if you want it to be like, if you're kind of scared, drop slide to here
Yeah, that's not bad.
because it's a little more visible for your Ana. And if
Hmm.
their Doom goes up here, he's also LOSing his supports. And
Yeah,
it's their
and I
Tracer
have
is gonna have, or sorry, their Soj is gonna have harder access, all of that.
yeah.
Yeah, so like this is like
Dude,
one of those things too where it's like, or sorry, I cut you off.
no, never mind.
But yeah, this is like one of those things where it's like, there's plays that are like they might seem like kind of aggro and like feeding and like trolling, but it's like, well, they're trolling the lobby if they go after you at this point, right? Because
Yeah,
that means that they
yeah,
just cast aside this entire rotation while they have a horse in front of them with ult and a tracer on the high ground and
yeah.
like an
If
Ana here. And if they all go on you while you're here, like even on the low ground, well, they're just getting mated
yeah,
and like
and our
ran
Ursa
a
could push out and maybe kill
yeah,
their Ana even.
yeah. And even if they don't, well, are they goodness, like this is so long of a spot for them to set up for any fight, right? Like they're honestly gonna have to like rotate
Right.
all the way up here or something, or like rotate all the way back through here, and like their Doom could do whatever, but like then his team isn't with him, and yeah, it's just like
Yeah,
so bad
yeah,
for them, no matter how you cut it.
100%.
Up, dude,
Um,
you had another opportunity.
yeah, I think I should have dropped 100%.
Drop and
I think
drop a disruptor there.
yeah, there's a lot of decisiveness. I think here is kind of the problem.
It's not even decisiveness, because like decisiveness, I think kind of gets scapegoated a little bit because you
Okay.
can't be decisive if you don't have a game plan, and you also can't be
Sure.
decisive if you can't recognize what you're being decisive for. Like, I just don't think you were recognizing that as an opportunity.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, well, man, I wasn't decisive. It's like, well, no, you just didn't see
You just didn't.
another opportunity besides what you
Sure,
did. And, that's
sure.
hard to do. And if it was easy to do these things, but like it's hard enough outside of review for a lot of people to see these options. Like there's so
Yeah.
many players I work with who are just like, and it's like, I mean, like you're pretty good in terms of like coming up with ideas on stuff at least.
Hmm.
And it's even harder, obviously, in game, and that's why we do it out
Yeah.
of game, because then we're just, we have those ideas kind of bouncing around in our head
Pre-shift.
already.
Yeah.
Okay, like here.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is
Not
troll, but
what?
can can you do anything about this Doom? Maybe,
Well,
but like,
oh, I guess you're talking about right when the Doom. Once I have rail, right once I have rail,
yeah,
when the
yeah.
Doom.
So like, right.
Okay.
So like here, we already fumbled this opportunity.
Yep.
I
Rail's
think
gone
it's
for.
also kind of trail to be jumping up here. I think you should
Yeah.
just be sitting here, marking this off angle and looking for the echo.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. You don't have slide for 6 seconds. Maybe you don't have it in time. Oh, yeah, so you have slide now. He just engaged. That means he
Okay.
can't mark you over there,
Yep.
right? He's at full health. I think it's a waste of time to just be sitting here looking at him. Remember, we don't care about the thunder, we care about
Definitely.
the lightning. Where's the lightning?
To my right.
Yeah, so there's the echo, the Ana. So even if
Yep.
you're not shooting him here, you should at least be tucking here. to
Yeah.
be shooting this or looking this way and like playing this really close, or
Mm.
hitting a hop here to try and tap this,
Yeah.
like get more visibility, and maybe you tap the Ana or that go, or just,
That's not bad. Yeah.
balling, like,
Yeah. I think I like that.
like one of these, right?
It's
Because we're not
this is
doing
the
anything
worst here.
here. This doesn't really get us, like,
No.
it doesn't really sidestep us anywhere useful. This doesn't really sidestep us for anywhere that useful either, unfortunately. So
No.
because the fight is like already so constricted in such a thin line, we have to keep
Hmm.
playing along. Like we want to be on an angle, right? But we can't be too far.
Yeah.
So our here's one side of the line. The other side, unfortunately, is mostly a giant pit and low ground. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you have your one option, and
Uh-huh.
you better like it. So yeah, right here though, I think like
Yeah.
even just
It's fine.
tossing an E here, even if you don't like
Yeah. It's pretty
look
nice.
there, because you know that they have to be here, and if they're not here, they're trolling, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
there's so
Right. Oh, I could have killed
yeah,
Echo as well, actually.
and especially here, yeah, because you weren't looking at her, right? So you just weren't ready for it. And like your smarts have been fine, dog. And like the other thing is, now that the Echo committed even further, it's like, well, he's busy, she's busy, even more reason I can just jump here and like if she's looking at me, well, we definitely kill that Doom, right? Or force
Hmm.
him out. Um, Even if their Ana like nades me and they both of these guys turn on me, well, great, then they're not looking at where they're landing. They're not looking at these guys, and these guys probably live, right? They can't
Yeah.
afford to go on you. And if they do,
Yeah.
there's a much better chance at least that your team wins the fight, even if they do and can.
Hmm.
And like
Oh, this is actually pretty funny. That's just BM, dude.
yeah.
And that's what they go
Nice
for.
trade, but yeah, it just did not quite arc out the
Yeah.
best. And like our team still kind of wins this, and probably actually does because we made it scrappy enough and have the respawn advantage.
Yeah.
But nice pick. Mm-mm-mm. This is good. This is really nice, actually. That was really clean.
Well, except for the rest of my team. Everyone else died, actually. Fortunately.
Yeah, but they couldn't really afford to punish you. Like if we look at
Yeah, that's true.
this, we got the cleanup on the Ana, and
Oh yeah, you're right.
see, like they're doing stuff, so you do stuff, and
Yeah,
look how
yeah,
well it works, right?
yeah.
So it doesn't really matter that your teammates died here, because see, you did stuff when they did stuff. When they died, you got out.
Equal trade, pretty much.
And then
But
see, like this is yeah. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
looks like
you're
it
right.
worked out fine, right? And like
Hmm.
this, like I don't really care if people die during a fight. I'm not like that guy who's like, you all need to be alive at the end of the fight. I mean, great if that happens, because that means
Yeah,
more efficient on the ult charge and stuff. But you know, a win's a win. I just care. I just
yeah,
want to
pretty
see
much.
people playing a beautiful game.
Yeah.
Elegant solutions. Okay,
So
this is what are you
yeah,
doing,
I don't
brother?
like this. So I,
Are you
I was
scared?
waiting for a nano. Oh no, I wanted her nano me, but I realized now that she didn't have it.
Mm, yeah, that might have
But
been
I
a
think
good thing
still,
to check. Well,
I mean, even so, like, I don't think it's good because like we're rushing. Even so, and I have
yeah,
OC. Like, I don't need it.
yeah.
I think I just
The way
do.
to handle this would have been instead of like sitting around here with your hand, like you're sitting on your hands or whatever, just peek this and then
Yeah,
like
she'll eventually
keep
go past you.
glancing back, and then you can peek out here a little bit when she like is closer.
Yeah, I think going. Yeah, I think going out right
Because
side
it's
makes more
such a
sense here.
waste to just sit here, or like
Yeah,
same like here. I mean, this isn't as good because you don't isolate out this angle from their Ana as well.
yeah,
Um, and it's like more vulnerable to being flanked by respawners.
yeah,
But even this, poke a little here, poke the Ana, peek out, poke the Doom a little. She probably can slap Nano on you pretty reasonably fast. And this
yeah.
is nice by the nature that you could slide out to. I don't know if you can get up here, but you could definitely go over here
No.
with OC and at least force a sleeper nades and like
Yeah,
panic, and then the Doom dies during that, almost certainly.
yeah,
Or just even from here, isolate out these guys and just shoot the Doom, which is a little troll, but it's okay. Same
yeah.
case with here is just pop OC here, draw some attention,
It should be a pretty easy
and
kill
it's
on the
probably
Ana
fine,
from here
yeah.
as
And
well.
you don't even, I mean, your team shouldn't even need the nano for this fight anyways, probably. So it's like
Yeah,
kind of whatever. Because
yeah.
the enemy
We
team
should.
just failed to set up for it so much.
Yeah, and this ended up just going pretty poorly because
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
how the
I
heck?
think I think the main thing is like so their Kiri got back with TP and then she rushed. But the thing is
Uh-huh.
I just they're three or my team's 3v4 right now. I mean
Because
now they're
this
not,
looks good.
but one.
Lukewarm is getting lots of attention.
I think I'm able to kill the
Yeah, no,
Kiri.
this Hanzo just... No, you look at the
Wait.
doom! No!
Oh, I do. There's a
What?
Sojourn. Wait. I
Yeah,
Oh, I remember. Yeah, she peeked like it was weird.
well,
She like went into cover, so I was just like, oh,
I don't
okay,
care about her. I
I
care
like
that we
Hanzo.
know that
Yeah,
there's a Hanzo there. I would rather we
I
just
should
like slide into
slide
him,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And
Because,
then oh yeah,
yeah, dude, how did our
I need to stop looking
Ana?
at this
Yeah.
game.
And the other tricky thing here is, like we look at this and it's like it's kind of awkward because we have all our control in this little bit, but then they have this angle and this angle, and there's no way we can pay
Hmm.
attention to both. So we kind of, in this time that Lukewarm was on their back line, I think honestly, oh, wrong POV. You should either be sliding here
Yeah,
to get on the outside of these guys or sliding here to get on the outside of this guy. You cannot just sit here and let yourself be
yeah,
surrounded. If you
definitely.
can't look at both of the people in 180 degrees, see like he's past 180 a little bit, then you have a problem.
Okay.
Or slide here, land here. You could even have been this way, right, to at least isolate him
Hmm.
out a little bit more, and then slide this way when she was OCing and draw the OC away from her team.
Yeah,
You could have, yeah, I
I
mean
could
those are the
slide
main
in one of these
ones, but
high.
yeah,
Nah,
those
flanking one of
don't
the high
get
ground
those
would be.
kind of just keep you in main too much, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You could have done that maybe as like a slightly different variation, but it doesn't really do
Maybe,
much.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
I think you just had to slide here or here when you had Nano. Like I just don't think
Hmm.
that's optional.
Yeah, I agree.
Because like we look at this and like great tap, but like we could have hit that midair probably too. And
Yeah,
now
and
our
oh,
back
I
is
gave
turned
up my
on.
the Hanzo's right there.
Yeah, yeah, and we just ignore
He's
him and
right
yep,
there.
yeah. Once again, it's not like this fight is on you, but we
Yeah,
certainly could have done things better.
yeah.
And this is like I never feel like a fight is on one person, but because if there's one
But yeah,
person doing everything perfectly, well, very clearly they didn't because we lost the fight, you know?
yeah,
But it might have not been reasonable perfection, but we can at least aim for it, right?
yeah. I agree.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Oh yeah, I went back Widow because they're on Soj Hanzo.
Yeah, I think that's a little silly, but you know, it's okay.
Yeah, probably.
Because Hanzo has an advantage over you, except in the nature of precision. Because think about like every time you take a shot, you're rolling what? Like you're flipping a coin, let's say, right?
Hmm.
He's rolling a d20. So it's like, well,
Yeah,
you know, if you're flipping heads, great. But by the same note, by Widow, your precision, that depends fully on your accuracy and you know your
yeah,
setup and all that. Well,
and
he has a pretty consistent d20. So it's like, well, if
yeah,
you keep, you know, rolling that and gambling it and don't have good shot opportunities, you'll probably win.
yeah. He gets to roll it a lot more
Yeah,
often for
yeah, he
sure.
rolls it constantly while you go like, you know,
I
three
roll it like
flips.
once an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's like, well, you know, don't put that to the test. You're gonna have when you peak, you better make it count.
yeah, yeah,
So don't waste time just, you know, poking at people here. You gotta be especially paying attention to that when team do, I do too, because that's gonna be when you get
yes,
your best shot opportunities. And you better not be
definitely
afraid to
effective.
play aggro, especially when the Doom is
Hmm.
out. So like if he's on your team, I want you like grappling up here or something stupid, or like, you know,
Okay.
peeking like really like aggressive here. Maybe that one, but that's a little silly.
Yeah, like
Little
maybe even
little
just
little
yeah.
goofy. Like this is not gonna do anything, dog.
This is
This is
looking at
trolling.
yeah.
Yeah,
This is
you have
really
zero
bad,
leverage over the
really
battlefield.
bad.
Yeah, you find. I mean, you're AFK, dog.
Yeah,
You're AFK.
yeah, I am.
I think Sojourn would have been fine. Usually, what I would
Yeah, I think
recommend
so.
in these matchups is Ashe. I think Ashe is super strong in dive versus dive because she has that precision,
Yeah,
but I know it can feel a little uncomfy into Hanzo sometimes, and I don't know how much you play Ashe, but like, you know, just dynamite him and you're probably good.
Yeah, she's not a
So,
character I've consistently practiced in a really, really long time.
um,
I'm pretty much just
you
limiting
mostly
myself to.
do Soj, Tracer, Widow, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it right now.
Yeah, I think so. I think Tracer would have been really good here too. I mean, I know it sounds weird because it's like, oh my gosh, on the poke and this is the narrow point. But
Yeah.
like by the
Well,
same
wasn't Luke
note,
on it technically?
or
He
yeah,
swapped.
yeah, he might
Yeah,
have.
I think he was. I think you're right. Just saying Surge is best.
No, yeah, sorry, he was on that before you swapped, but
Yeah,
yeah.
but I think saying Surge is still good. Yeah.
Let's speed run this next section here.
Yeah.
Because I do want to see it just for funsies, you know? Like, you can't just watch a movie and just, you know, cut it off
Yeah.
before the end. But,
Yeah.
gosh, I wonder if it's going to go the same way as last time. I hope not. This is reasonable. So I like this angle a lot, man. Like,
Yeah.
I know,
I think it's
like,
pretty good.
so many people prefer playing here. I I just don't really like this side of the map. Like,
Yeah.
I think this is really strong for attackers, actually, because you
Yeah.
cut off this, and, like, I think, but, like, I would rather just heavy control this area and kind of negate this rotation and then just have people here marking this because like and the door because it's
Mhm.
pretty easy to just mark the two of these and most people aren't going to like you know rotate someone all the way around here and like I know you should probably mark it in some capacity
But like even if they swing, then I have like disruptor for that potentially.
yeah but the reason I like this side for a lot of stuff like if I have a choice on any hero like I know somebody should be here but I always want to be the person here
Yeah.
because to me this is so much more comfy for controlling against long sight lines, avoiding like widow taps. You
Yeah.
have so much cover, you have like lots of cool options for like flipping map and like making
Yeah.
aggro options. Like it's just like a way cooler position, you know.
Mhm. Yeah.
Please don't rail, please don't rail. Ah!
What do you want me to hold it for here?
I don't know.
Just just something to commit
Yeah,
because
wait.
this was not committed. I think
Yeah,
yeah.
so my policy for rail is you should view it as the straw that breaks the camel's back is kind of how I like to think about it. Where it's like, you know, it matters when it's like that final piece that breaks, you know, the enemy team is already getting so pressured and stressed and they're at a
Right.
breaking point, you just tap it and then it
Then
all
you rail
explodes, yeah. Because at that
instead of
point they can't deal with it. Here, like you're just like throwing a piece of like a pebble at like a glass pane,
yeah.
you know? Instead
Yeah.
of like, oh my gosh, there's already so many stress fractures and it's about to crack and
Mhm.
like it's okay,
Yeah.
but you're kind of forcing it, you know? It's like on Tracer
Yeah.
when you like try and force a duel instead of like flowing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I get you.
And dude, it's so tempting. So it's like I can't blame you, but especially
Yeah. Of
here where you
course.
have a hard time farming rail in this comp,
Yeah.
like I would rather you just sit here holding rail and then like maybe, that was still kind of Oh, wait, but like right there though,
That's where the Hanzo's
that
looking at
might,
it like,
yeah,
oh, right.
that might
That's
have
good.
been a chance. Yeah, right in that
Mhm.
split second. It wasn't very
Yeah.
long second, but it was an option.
And yeah.
Or right here, maybe that would have even been
Yeah. Maybe.
better.
Still a little scared because I can't really see her.
hmm Okay, so we're going rail back. This is a stupid position. You're not gonna do jack from here.
Yeah. I'm not doing anything.
Because all their
It's
attention
just
is
so
looking this
far
way
away.
anyways. So you should probably be here and then ready
Oh,
to swing out this way, or
or left
here
side.
and ready to swing out this way. Yeah, one of
Yeah.
those two. Or, you
Mhm.
know, this is okay too, but it's just a little weaker because you know the Kuryu's there. And I don't like this because people can like kind of get you from here. But
Yeah.
this is super nice, especially because you have the mini. Yeah, this isn't like, man, there could be a lot worse of positions because you still can slide through here, but I'm guaranteeing that you won't.
Yeah.
Because for some reason hitscan players are very averse to being in enclosed spaces. Um, I don't know if
Yeah.
this
That
is
is
like a trend
something.
you've noticed, but like I feel
That
like
is
you guys are
something.
all
Yeah.
claustrophobic, and it's like, well, oh my gosh, I want to see the air blowing, the breeze blowing through my hair, and like feel it on my face, and
See
like wide open,
everything.
see everything, and it's like, dog, if you can see everything, that is a problem.
Everyone
You,
can
cause
see
you,
you.
yeah, cause you don't gotta see everything to do your
Yeah.
job. And
Yeah.
meanwhile, like something like this, you have so much control.
Yeah.
You know, you're the little gremlin that hides in the cupboard. You're not like this, you
Yeah.
know, majestic being that, you know, exists to fly.
Omniscient.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, you wait. Do you do it? Nope.
Might.
Okay.
Oh.
Well,
Oh.
darn. You're close.
Back to
You
monkey.
almost did. Yeah, yeah. Because like this, if you slid there, okay. Well,
Ooh.
that's dead.
That's nice.
Yeah, or at least like, cause here, even if you don't kill them, because I guarantee this Hanzo turns on you before you can kill him. you can probably grab mini. You can probably just sit here occupying their
Yeah, this is not
attention.
bad, like a
And
bad position. Like
if
it's
they're
it's like scary, but
yeah,
they can't really kill me because
no,
I have a hog right there.
no, and this Hanzo's still gonna be rolling his D20 even in close
Yeah,
range. So it's like,
yeah,
you could probably even like do the like try and rail the BAP, get pressure on him, force a lamp, all of that. BAP probably just tries to ignore you if he's good.
hmm
Hanzo's probably gonna sit here and keep marking you because if he doesn't,
yes,
you just rotate out and kill everybody.
yeah,
So he's gonna sit here rolling his D20. I think you can just sit here poking point and just
yeah,
ignoring him. Like if you're really good at like being aware of which side he's peeking, and then once you have slide, you can just slide back here, and then
yeah.
you could peek back out, get him again.
Right. Yeah, yeah,
Play
yeah.
you can play games, right? But
hmm
you're just kind of standing in point, and like it's a miracle
Yeah,
that this
rough.
Hanzo's D20 hasn't hit you yet.
Yeah.
Okay, well he actually gives up too, so that's kind of cool.
Oh,
But yeah, like yeah, I mean, sure. Oh, okay, so you did eventually find your way on an angle. Oh, look how
yeah.
free it is!
Yeah, okay.
Y'all are always shocked when you finally do stuff on your angle, and you're like,
I
"Oh my gosh, I hit this!
look at that.
I'm a beast!" And then and then like the next fight, you just go and play in main again. I'm like,
Uh,
what happened to the beast? You know, like this is such a common thing where I'm like, I see,
it's so weird. Yeah.
yeah, like I don't know, like do you guys not? This isn't like meant to like demean or anything,
No, yeah,
but
yeah.
do you guys not? You guys being, the generic GM tier 2
Generic hit
people,
scan.
yeah, generic hit scan. Do you guys just not see that being on the big flank is what finally let it be free?
I don't know. I think
Or is it just
at
like,
least for
oh yeah, I
me,
hit
like
shot,
at least
dopamine
for me, this is.
release?
I mean, this is obviously autopilot. Like
Yeah, yeah,
other games, I'll have this way better, right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
like, I think
This is just a generic ranked game, yeah.
sure, right. But I think like one of the things for me, at least in this scenario, is the Hanzo's really, really scary to me as Sojourn.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I have rail, like it's kind of scary. Um,
Yeah, I can see that.
with Sonic, but I think
If you have
I don't
Disruptor though,
know.
you don't even need rail.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so.
You can kind of just
Um,
jump them and you win.
but I don't know. I think it feels hard to like, um, how do I say
That's
this?
kind of
I don't know.
useless.
The hardest thing for me is like finding those adaptable positions
Mm-hmm.
that like are good on their own, but also lead to a great
Yeah,
position when
yeah,
you have rail. Like those are what like they're hard to find because they're not everywhere. They're not on every
yep.
map. They don't exist on every map. But like I think
They kind of do, but kind of they're not they're
there's
hard to
some of them are
find and
harder.
they don't always work in the same way because of the
Yeah,
context and stuff. So yeah, I get what you mean
yeah.
though.
Those are the hard ones to find.
Yeah,
And sometimes I feel like I'm just in like a position that it feels like I'm controlling a lot of space, like a Widowmaker,
yeah.
but
And
I'm
then
not really.
suddenly the wind is out from your sails and you're not
Yeah,
really, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I
That
I
stuff.
I, I
Yeah,
get that, yeah. And that's like the other thing is sometimes these neutral positions are with your team early and then you branch out to like multiple angle options after based on the situation.
hmm
So like for example, like Kevster on Tracer is a master at that, and like Proper too, where they kind of play in like a neutral position on Tracer instead of like hard flanking. You're like, dude, why are they just kind of like chilling in main, and then suddenly they blink
yeah.
out to the side and they're on a sick angle on the Zen, and they're like, oh, that's why.
That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And instead of like, flanking on the Zen and putting all their eggs in this one basket as they watch their team get run over on this side, they have options, right? So if they hard commit this side and force him out, well, he just blinks this way.
yeah,
So yeah, that's like, you always want to look for those high potential positions that, can lead to great positions when it matters, right? Because you don't need a good position all the time. You just need it when it
hmm
matters.
right. When
That,
team is doing.
yeah, yeah, when team doing. That's like the same thing with rail too, is you don't need rail all the time. You just need rail when team doing.
Yeah.
This is good. This is good. Yes, yes. No!
No,
Yeah, you know
no
what?
footsteps. OP.
Yeah. I
Do you
mean,
not want? Do you not want me to take this?
no, no, that was a beautiful angle.
Okay, okay.
That was exactly where I wanted you. You
It's
just
just, it's just,
the
it's sad.
execution because like okay, let's bring it back to the
I
framework
kind of
because
wasn't
this is like
tempted.
one of the last fights. We're like, okay,
Yeah,
this is clearly doesn't get the result we wanted,
yeah.
but the result that we want would bring very much value to the team, right? This is a good
100%.
good position. Why did it fail? Well, let's see.
I think
Angle isolation to here is okay. I don't think you need to bother shooting at lamp here.
was it rail decay maybe? Actually,
You
I think it
just
might have been. Was I just shooting the whole
You're
time?
just your peeking mechanics are terrible, dog.
Yeah, this is just bad.
You need to play more Valorant or something. Like,
Yeah, this is really
cause
wide.
cause like we look at this and like look at your crosshair placement this whole fight. So like this is fine. This is yeah, sure. I mean, this is kind of it's kind of waffling. Like you're not really doing anything, but it's kind of whatever. This sure. You're keeping rail.
Yeah,
Why
I'm
is
not
your
paying attention.
crosshair there?
I'm not paying any attention to
Because like
this at all.
it's
I
always
think I'm
sequentially
planning.
clear.
Yeah,
You're
I'm planning for the shot when like
that you're
Exam
going
is
yeah,
not
like
looking
yeah,
at me
yeah.
through the hallway, but I'm not at all thinking about the
Yep.
current angle that's in front of me.
Yeah, so like you because you know that you want to plant the crosshair there, and then you kind of swing out to like gradually unveil it as more and more and more, and like hold the
Yeah,
cover as close as humanly possible. But you're just sleeping on the job because this and you
yeah, that's
yeah,
exactly
and you
how
go
it is.
really wide from this instead of like keeping it tight, right? And
Mm-hmm.
even better, you could have just I mean like waited a second and
Yeah,
disruptor shotted here. The other thing is he can
yeah,
hear you.
yeah. I can't hear him.
So you can probably just like farm here and like be watching this carefully until you know that your team is fully in, which they kind of are, but this doesn't mean these little duels won't happen on the side because you should be able to win this like really easily.
Yeah.
And that's not like a oh ha 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 yeah just brush it off. I mean, in the moment yeah, because it feels bad, but we very clearly can see that you giga messed up.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, so yeah, there were other options available there. I don't. We went through a couple of those, and they would have been a lot more valuable because you would have won that, and then we would have clutched the fight. Because
Mm-hmm.
that was your game-winning angle. That was the correct place to be,
Okay. Yeah.
or a very good place to be. I'll say, because there's
Yeah.
not really
One
one
of.
correct.
Yeah.
Do you do it better this time, or are you gonna be too scared?
I
You're
might be
too
too
scared.
scared. Well, also my hog is.
Bummer. Yeah, now you're just doing nothing. This is yeah,
Yeah.
depressing. Yeah, now you're too scared now.
Yeah.
You lost your mojo.
Claustrophobia is back.
Hey, look, your team put you on an off angle for you.
Yeah.
It's always nice when they backpack you like that. Yeah, because suddenly, beautiful. Like, wow, it just served up on a plate like it always
Yeah.
is when you're on an off angle. This is like always so funny too, where I'm like looking at teams and they're like losing fight after fight, and then they accidentally end up on an off angle because of the enemy team like going between them or like splintering
Yeah.
them or something, and then they win the fight and they're like, yeah, and I'm like, dude, did you not
And then
just see that? And then they don't take any off angles again
yeah,
for the rest of the match. And I'm like,
they
dude,
set up the same way because it
yeah,
worked.
yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's so depressing.
I yeah.
Here you should be here probably.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. I think that's kind of what you're talking about with like the claustrophobia. It's also like if something fails, going for it again, like it's really hard in match to know if I
Yeah,
if that was wrong because I made like a little mistake, like I was sleeping on the job there, or it was just the completely wrong play.
yeah.
I think that's a big thing.
So this is why my thing is I think you need to have very high confidence in your very broad level macro understanding. I think like if you're looking at the best players in the world, right? They have very
Hmm.
high confidence that they're in the right place at the right time if they are good. If they're actually a very good player. And I don't
Yeah,
mean like very good like oh yeah, generic owl, I mean like the top of owl.
yeah,
Because then from there you're like, okay, well, I very clearly understand that if I'm on Sojourn, my two final endpoints on this breaking open point are either here, right, or here, probably, or maybe
hmm
even here, right?
hmm
Something on left side, something on right side. This is kind of stupid. It's like okay, but it's kind of stupid. This is kind of it's kind of okay, it's kind of stupid. But if they go here, we're dead. If they go here or here, we're dead. Right? So clear the edge of the map first. You always want to be on the edge of the map or edge of the fight and like guarantee that you are on the edge of the fight because
yeah,
then there's never people looking in at you. You're always looking in at them. And then it's like, well, if we couldn't get this, well, what went wrong? Well, if they were looking at us, then we probably had something wrong with our cover usage, or we didn't time it well with our
maybe.
team,
Hmm.
right? Too much attention on us. We didn't shrug their attention. We took too much pressure early, right? And there's like tons of little things. And then you're just like, oh yeah, I can do that better, right? But you
Yeah,
know it's the correct, motion to end up in proportionate to
right.
your team. And you just know which one you pick based on where your team goes. If your team is going here, then you go here. If your team is going here, then you go here, right?
Yeah.
Um, and like that's yeah, like so many players just they the problem is I think a lot of players because they've learned things from just repetition and like, gradually learning what works or doesn't work from ladder. I just
Mhm.
think ladder is a terrible teacher, and it
Yeah.
leads to people not having confidence in like conscious understanding of things. Because when things
Yeah.
fail, that's when you need that conscious understanding. Because what you're doing isn't working, and then flailing around afterwards isn't going to make it better.
Right.
So then you end up
Yeah.
with people either, banging their head against a wall or flailing around wildly doing stupid stuff like locking Tracer Genji dive.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, or the common one is, guys, we just need to go first. We need to go faster.
Oh yeah, I hate that one.
Yeah.
I
And
hate
I'm
that
like,
one.
no, you don't need to go faster. You need to do it better.
Yeah,
Right.
you need to actually maybe take it a little bit slower.
Yeah. Yeah. And like
Yeah.
that's another thing, by the way, is you can just always stop to think if you need to. Like
Yeah.
there's you
Yeah.
rarely any much consequence to it. Uh, 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 dude,
I
you
got
almost did
well.
it. This is
I
still
was
good though. This is still
yeah.
good.
I think I was scared of window
Yeah,
from that
which
angle.
is
A
like
little too open
that's
window.
fair. Like I don't mind that, especially because that's
Hmm.
closer. But like you're in the right spot now, because
Yeah.
this
This
is
is
part of
better.
it, right? This whole building, this is a better angle than
This is the
this.
adaptable
Yeah,
angle. This is
this is
way
yeah,
better.
exactly. Because now you have the opportunity to press here if you want. You can even slide high ground if you want. You can
Yeah.
swing back this way if they press there. You can even swing back all the way to, here or even here if you
Yeah.
really had to, right? This is that perfect adaptable angle that you were looking for. You have OC, you just to isolate out the Hanzo. Nice. Don't look at the Doom though. You should just look at this guy. Because sleeping in would be a free kill.
Yeah. I think I wanted rail off
You
of
can't,
him, but
yeah, but you
yeah.
can't do anything about him anyways, and you're
Yeah.
wasting so much time trying to get rail. That Hanzo could
Yeah.
have died way faster. And then you kind of just give up on this angle. But that's kind of okay. So what you should be doing though is because this Doom is still out here, as soon as you hear him engage, just slide out this
Just
way.
slide in.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
or slide here, yeah, just like any of those options.
Hmm.
Good OC though. Yeah, and like no, even if you slid here, if he meteor strikes on you, he's trolling the lobby.
Yeah. Right. He has to
So
push point at this
yeah,
point. So
yeah. So that's like, classic objective leverage.
cool.
So, all all of that in mind, I didn't like kind of do my normal thing where I hone in on a pattern more, because here we were actually kind
Hmm.
of more. I was trying to illustrate to you how you can
Yeah.
review for yourself,
Hmm. Hmm.
because like most of what we talked about, this isn't like, archaic knowledge that I have and I'm just like spilling the
Yeah.
truth to you. This is just I'm
I
familiar
know
with
all
how
this
to,
stuff.
yeah, all this stuff. I know you know it
Yeah.
because I was asking you most of this stuff, and it's just so like and this is something that comes with experience, is like learning how to guide yourself towards those answers and not get trapped by yourself, because that's the one tricky part about VOD reviewing, is just kind of backing yourself into a corner, because it's like, how do I know what I don't know? And it's
Right.
like, well,
Yeah.
that's where you have to just be like, okay, screw the box, screw this, look at all the options, right? Including the
Yeah.
troll ones, and seriously
Hmm.
analyze it.
Yeah.
And this is like kind of the method that I did for when whenever I seriously ladder. I don't ladder much ever, which is why I'm
Yeah.
just, a master's schmuck. But uh I I have to assume I think it would work pretty reasonably for GM players and GM1
Yeah.
players and tier 3 players and all of that stuff. So,
Yeah. Cool. I
um,
I think I got a bunch of good notes from it. So
yeah. So yeah, just don't, focus on all of that at once, but you already know that. So,
yeah. Yeah.
I did record this. I can post on my YouTube. I imagine you wouldn't want to go back and watch it because it's hella long, but just, for the records, I usually do these just unlisted
Hmm.
unless you want it just public. I don't usually put much videos on my YouTube, but it's up to you. I don't really care.
I don't really care. You
Yeah,
can do
I
whatever
might
you
just
want.
put it public just for funsies, because nobody
Go ahead.
watches these long videos anyways, and if they do, great. There's a gem of Klups becoming the GOAT of Overwatch.
Yeah.
But yeah. Any questions?
Um. So I guess my one question is for for practicing. You're talking about the
Mhm.
the confidence in like my macro
Mhm.
positioning. Um, should I kind of just always be confident on that? Like so, like right now. So I think the first thing I'm going to work on is the adaptable angle stuff, like having an angle that will let me, do a lot of things. Take deeper angles and stuff.
Mhm.
Um, during a match, like how do I say this? Like during a match when I lose a fight or it felt like I did something bad. How do I actually figure it out if I did something bad or not? I don't know how to phrase this really, but like,
So
hmm,
like in a let's say a high stakes moment, right? It's like
yeah,
in
sure,
let's say in a match, something didn't work, let's say, right?
yeah,
And it did not feel good doing it. You're
yeah,
saying how do you sort out if that was, a correct play that was executed poorly
yeah,
versus a poor play with correct or also poor execution.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, there's no perfect way because the number one way is to just study the game so that you're
yeah,
as confident as possible. One piece of advice is, and maybe like coaches are gonna scream at me for this.
hmm,
I think you shouldn't listen to your teammates on
oh,
like this is
oh,
I know this sounds so troll, but I think it's really bad to listen to your teammates over yourself unless you know that teammate is like really, really smart, and even then, you should just be striving to be as smart as them.
100%. I'm
Um,
never in voice chat, and if anyone says
yeah,
anything that I disagree with, I
yeah,
instantly hide chat.
yeah. But like even in, dude, I mean, I'm gonna get sued
It's
for
in
this, but
scrim,
like
yeah,
even in scrims, I really hesitate to recommend
it's
like if someone makes a call counter to what you believe is correct,
no,
I,
Animal, you don't understand.
jeez,
In flash ops, no, I this made me so this exact thing happened, and it lost us
yeah,
a match that we really
yeah.
should have won. That was really close, and
Yeah,
it was
like
sad. It was so
because the
sad.
problem is no one should know how to play your role better than you. So what should happen is
Yeah.
there should be an overarching plan based on like what they want to do for themselves, and then you should
Hmm.
naturally know how to improvise around that and make
Yeah.
the best call on it.
Yeah.
Um, and so to kind of backtrack to the original question, I think the best way to know is you should just check, well, does this fundamentally make sense? I guess
Right.
first of all, right? Like, is running headfirst into the enemy team over and over again gonna change unless we change something about it?
Hmm.
Probably not, right?
Yeah.
Or usually, this is kind of a thing I started using recently. If your answer is all stacking together, then that's probably not an answer.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, like obviously for times you can, but uh, if your answer is let's all focus the tank more, that's also probably not an answer because his job is
Hmm.
to be focused.
Yeah.
Um, and like, yeah, I don't have an easy answer for that,
Yeah.
but if you just have like a vague confidence that from like experience that this is where you should be or that this is a good position based on your broad level macro understanding, then that's
Hmm.
usually fine. And if it doesn't work, what you can do is just after that fight or like, while you're respawning or whatever, you can just think about like, well, you know, what didn't work, right? So for example, if I'm
Right.
on Ana and I just get like absolutely pound like here, let me pull up a quick like game. I mean,
Okay.
this game I got clobbered, right? But because they were on Doom,
Yeah.
Sombra, Widow stuff. But just to like illustrate, so I go here because I see my team going this way, and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, gee, I need to be on the edge of the map, right? Because if I'm just here, I'm gonna get pounded by a Widow or people from here and here or something, right?
Yeah.
Is this an incorrect position, do you think?
No, I don't think
Probably
so.
not, right? But I'm about to get
Uh-oh.
smoked by this guy.
Right.
Uh, so then it's like, well, first of all, I just learned that they're on Sombra, so it's kind of whatever. And I should have hit that nade, should have like wasted that sleep, all of that jazz, right?
Right. But I think
But
it was still
then
good.
now I'm like, okay, I know that that was a correct play. I look over there because I'm like, well, geez, there could be a Widow. I'm thinking about that position and stuff. I choose to not do it again though. And this isn't
Yeah.
because I'm not confident I couldn't do that, but rather because I look at my other option. I'm like, well, this seems maybe a little better, right?
Hmm.
So now I'm looking at this one and I'm like, okay, let's peel out. Instead of throwing nades aggressively and stuff, I'm just looking to play clean and tight, save my nade for that Sombra, right? Now
Yeah.
that I know it's there. Pocket my sleep for the Doom. And
Yeah.
then I think I get, but note there, I just wasted a sleep. And
Hmm.
then this Doom is going to come on me. Do you think I'm in the wrong position?
No, I think again you just kind of executed it poorly, right?
Yep, yeah.
Yeah.
So then here, I end up in a kind of scrappy situation, and we're fine, but this is closer than it should have been, right?
Right.
So then now I'm like, well, that was closer than it should have been, but I'm confident that this is the right position, right? Or
So you're not gonna go sack.
at least better than the other intuitive alternatives, right? Of being
Yeah.
here. This one's probably fine too, but maybe it's easier for the Sombra to set up on me.
Mm-hmm.
So intuitively, this is probably my best position, but then I'm like, okay, well, now what am I going to modify to make this better in the future? Run it back better. I'm like, okay, well, I didn't think this, but I should have, because I,
Yeah.
kind of got complacent. But it should have been, okay, well, hold the sleep for the Doom every time, hold the nade for the Sombra every time,
Yeah.
and then, you know, run it back better. Because now we look at this again and how I repeat this fight, I waste the sleep again,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm too scared of the nade even though I saw the Sombra.
Right.
So
Yeah.
now I should have naded that whoever that was on my tracer, the Lucio,
Lucio.
and then I don't have the sleep for the Doom.
Yeah.
And now things just get messy. And like I live that, I hit the nade, great. I'm not thinking to sleep the like it just like all
You
scrambled because I didn't like
Yeah.
properly in that
Right.
moment go through a couple things,
Realize.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I
So
just
just try to.
just kind of trial and error it, like have
Right.
confidence in like the base level building blocks,
Yeah.
but then you can kind of fiddle around with the pieces and problem solve as the match goes on. And the other
Okay.
team will be doing that too. So you sometimes have to adapt. So like this code, I need to record it for myself, but this I did like really, really well on Ana, playing in like a ton of different ways because they were swapping up comps, playing different angles, stuff like that. So I'd have to play super
Yeah.
close at times, super far at times, hold my nade differently. And like that's kind of the stuff that you do. And that's what makes it a dance, is just
Yeah.
it doesn't just end at this is the correct place. You have to, fit it for the correct thing. So that's all I can
Yeah.
really give
Okay.
advice on that, I think. Hopefully that was clear. I know that was a little
No, I think that
convoluted.
that makes sense. Yeah. Cool.
All right.
All
I
right.
will stop
Well.
the recording.